Well, welcome. Ghetto Rig episode 6.
Hello,
Seven,
hello.
Is it
Seven.
7?
Seven.
7? Oh shit, we're doing big things now, huh?
No, it's six.
6, it's 6.
It's 6?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
I thought last week was 6.
No, we put
Nah,
five
this
on the
week
thing.
is 6.
Okay.
Hold on, this.
This
But
week
it's
is
still
6.
6 more than everyone else has that doesn't have a channel. Anyway,
up?
so today we got our audio engineer here working the mics,
Let me
So-
pull up the thing on the TV real quick.
monitoring. All right, well, let's start on this end.
Oh, me? Oh. What's up? My name's Eddie. You guys, we know that. Is that what we're talking about today? Or are you talking about, want me to bring up my topics?
No, just who you are, what you do. You
Oh,
know.
me? Okay. Eddie, 21. I'm a student. I also work construction and have a couple businesses on the side.
Jay.
Now I can say couple.
Yeah. Jay, look at the damn belly, bro. Camera does add like 40 pounds, huh?
You're wearing gray, bro.
50.
Gray adds a lot of shades and depths to one, so it makes
Yeah,
you
look
bigger.
at me. I look all
the-
skinny. And
Yeah,
stuff.
me and
Hold
black,
up.
bro. Look at me. I look like I'm 40 pounds lighter, bro.
All the pasta I done ate too didn't do any justice. Anyway, next.
My name's Emily. I am 20. I'm a makeup artist, and I also have a small business. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Spell entrepreneur.
I'm horrible at spelling.
You know, I couldn't spell that until I went to college because I was all my business classes forced me to, like, all the writing I did. You know, I learned to spell the name. I'm constantly writing that name, constantly writing that word in all my essays and papers and stuff like that. So I was forced to. I also wouldn't know it.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. I'm not trying to embarrass myself.
Yeah, it's really not that hard. It's really not that hard.
Well, apparently it is for some people.
Asshole.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do we got on the docket today, Eddie?
So
You got the reins today. You got the steering wheel.
what do you guys? I wanted to ask. What do you guys think as a whole? As the is it healthy for someone to consume porn, regardless if you're in a
Oh, shit.
relationship?
High hit it right away. Right out the
Regardless-
gate. Right out of the gate. dropping
Regardless if
bombs.
you're in a relationship. The chat up. Oh. Let's see. How do I put the chat up on a live? Right there. I see it.
So what's
Boom.
the question?
Okay.
Regardless if you're in a relationship or whatever, at an age in your life, of course, you're old enough to consume the content, right? So we're talking about people
Yeah,
18 and
yeah.
older here. But yeah, so I've heard a lot of opinions. You know, some people think it's really bad for you, unhealthy, especially if you're in a relationship. They think, man, why does he need to be watching porn, or she? You know, I don't know. I haven't
Hard
heard
to
guys
hear.
with as much
hey,
opinion.
Hey, gain. You gotta set the gain. Bob the Builder said the volume is low. FYI.
Hard to hear. Thanks, Bob. Try setting just bump it in OBS right now, so I don't have to stand up and move the gain on all four.
See if that's better.
Let us know. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up on my phone real
Give
quick and
us
see
one
what
in
it's
the
like.
chat if it's good. Give us 2 if it sucks.
Calvin says turn up the volume as well. Calvin, let us know if it's better now. We just turned it up a little bit. We turned it up a lot. Volume good on my end on the phone. Copy. Thanks, Arthur. Let me take a look.
Is
real
it
quick on my
everybody or a certain person?
It doesn't matter. I mean, you still have to have a decent volume.
No, yeah, I
on
know.
there.
But I'm
Yeah.
just curious. Maybe
It's better
if
that someone has to
specifically
turn
Eddie,
it
since he
down.
was talking just now.
Oh, you're talking about like specifically one person or the other person?
Yeah.
Oh. Much better. It's good. All right, perfect.
Yeah, I hear it good on my phone now.
Perfect.
I pulled it up.
All
Cool.
right, so what was the question again?
Again now, right? Porn. What do you guys think, man? I think I mean, I have an opinion on it. I also have done some research on it, and my opinion kind of like lines up with the research pretty well, but what do you guys think?
I don't know. It's a difficult situation. I don't really see why people say like, "Oh, it's unhealthy. It's bad for you." Personally, I think it could be bad for a relationship, if you want to say that, or it could be bad for, like, let's say a future relationship if all you have like The only experience you have in like sex is watching porn. If then you think that that's how it's going to be and how it's going to be every single time.
Believe it or not, there are
But
actually studies on how porn is healthy for people to come out of that shell in sex. So not as it can only be bad, it can actually be good. Believe it or
yeah,
not.
that's true. Yeah, I get what you're saying with that. But yeah, I think it could just be bad, like, though, for a relationship if they have the expectation that, like, what they see on there is how it truly is and how it, like, especially if they think it's like that every single time. You know what I mean?
Why is that?
Now, so porn, huh?
Jay's like, this is
Let me ask
different.
you something, Jay. You watch porn?
Dude, I'm a dude. Of course, I watched porn.
Okay. So what's your opinion on it, man? I mean, like,
So, I think porn is destroying younger generation. So let's not cap here. The reason porn even exists, the reason OnlyFans even exists, the reason the what are the ones, the feet websites, you know what I'm talking about?
Feet finder.
Fit Finder, there we go. The reason all these exist is because a lot of people have a hard time with accepting the fact that men have this insatiable appetite for sex. I don't care whether you're in a relationship, monogamous or polygamous or whatever you are, you still have this insatiable appetite for it, right? Now, with this being said, somebody that's pretty young and is not very experienced in a dating scene and maybe cannot go out there and get it in real life, let's say, let's pick a guy that's, I don't know, 18 years old, right? Let's make it legal. 19 years old. You go out there, and you just watch porn, right? You get your quick satisfaction, right? And then what? That doesn't teach you any skills of how to approach women, how to talk to women.
so you're contradicting yourself because even on yourself there, you say porn is ruining, but it's not porn. It's society in a whole of how we're viewing men and how we're trying to tell men why they need to be a certain kind of way. Like we've had this conversation of why we're trying to, how you say, make men soft, which I agree with in a certain sense. But it's not porn. It's as a whole. So for example, from what I've seen, or not from what I've seen, but research shows porn is bad in excess, just like anything else. It needs to be taken. It can be. It's fine in moderation, in a sense, is what they're saying. Just like almost anything else in life. But what you're talking about comes from the fact that it's almost like praising on this industry, like the feet finder, porn industry, sex industry, praises on insecurity of the fact that, not insecurity, but sorry, how you said it praises on the fact that how men have this innate thing for sex, right? That's how
Correct.
all this money is made from that.
Well,
But it's not necessarily, that's not what's necessarily ruining the men. It's the porn in excess adds to that, but it's just how I was talking about. The research shows porn in excess adds to anxiety, depression, and so on and so on.
Well, yeah, that's not what I was talking about. What I'm
But that's
saying
anything
is,
in excess that adds on. Anything in excess is going to add on to those things.
the reason porn is a, what is it, $11 billion business, right? The reason porn is $11 billion
On the legal
business because
side.
it capitalizes on men's insatiable appetite
Yeah.
for sex. So if every guy could, at the drop of a hat, so look at it this way: you take any girl right now, she can walk on a street and say whatever she wants, and the minute she takes off her pants, goes like this, there's gonna be a guy there to take care of the business, right? Now take that and give it to men with the insatiable appetite that the men have, and they can get pretty much any girl they want, anytime they want, without any trying or doing anything, right? So why would their porn exist? The reason porn exists is because there's a bigger demand for sex on a guy side versus on a girl side.
But there's a lot of women who watch porn.
There are, and I'm not gonna say that there are not.
And how about the men who are in relationships and relieve sex and can get sex constantly, but they still, when they want, they watch porn?
Well, let me get to it. I have a opinion about that too. However, if if all the men in the world have stopped paying for porn, for OnlyFans, for the Fit Finder,
Yeah.
for that, literally that industry would bankrupt. The industry would not just survive on female patronage.
No, absolutely not.
It's
No, no.
designed for men, right? And it really capitalizes on an insatiable appetite of men. However, women are not like that. Think of us as like a light switch. On, off, on, off. Women are more like a volume knob. You got to start it low and then just kind of escalate and get to it. So now when you're as a young guy and you're horny, or even an older guy, or you're a guy and you're horny, you don't have to go through the whole thing of understanding how to approach a girl, how to talk to her, how to escalate it to get it to the point where she ends up, let's say, sleeping with you, right? Because end goal is that, right? So if you don't go through that, you never learn that, and all you do is turn on the porn and it's instantaneously ready like a light switch. That's gonna make you completely jaded on what relationships are to begin with. You know what I mean? And another thing is, if a guy, the reason porn has so many categories: blonde, blue, fat, short, thick, whatever you want. There's a plethora of different kinds of that. Just there
I love how you
shows
said blue.
that there shows that guys are innately attracted to as much sex as possibly they can get, right? That's what it is. So to answer your question, in a relationship, if somebody goes out there and watches porn, to me, it's more like, if that person had the availability to as many, let's say it's a guy, he had the availability to as many girls as he wants and all the shapes and sizes, he would not need to go watch porn. He wouldn't. Because he would just go and smash those girls that he has fantasies about. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then we're living in a dream world.
Correct.
But that's what, yeah, of course, that's what it goes off of. But there's no way for that ever to be a reality or anything like that.
No, you're talking about, you're talking about. I'm talking about the them Belzerians of the world. I'm talking about the high 1% of the guys that the Drake and all of those people, they don't ever have that issue of, oh, which one is it tonight? There's always somebody tonight.
Yeah.
We saw a podcast with Dan Belzerian. Girl approaches him. He's like, dude, I don't even want to deal with it because I already done smashing four girls deep just by the time the lunch came around, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, it is, I think it's destructive, number one. Number two, it puts a wedge in a relationship. Number three, if you listen to any other interviews, half of those porn stars say half of the shit that they do is not even feasibly normal or comfortable to begin with, right? So is it good? Is it good? No. Is there a market for it? Is there a market for it? 100%. And unfortunately, it's one of those things like, just...
So research shows what you're saying is true, but research shows that the opposite end is true as well.
Which part?
That I was talking about, it can be good as well, in the sense that it can open some people's shells to sex. Some people are very awkward and for example, we all know that's almost like a movie. How real life is in a movie, it never happens like that in a sense. The same thing with porn, it never happens like that. But
my thing,
it helps those. It has proven to help those introverts open up a little bit more on that end of the spectrum.
So when you say open up on that end of the spectrum, right? So the bottom line, we're talking about sex, right? This is what porn is, right? Just sex between different genders, and then there's obviously the spectrum on that as well. Bottom line is, if you don't know, then you don't know. It's kind of one of those things. If you never tasted tiramisu in your life, it's like, oh, okay, great. Well, let me give you tiramisu. Taste the tiramisu. You never tasted tiramisu. You don't even know tiramisu exists. Do you really give a shit that tiramisu exists, out there in the world? No.
Mm-hmm. But the tiramisu is what everybody wants. And the whole world has made it to where this tiramisu is what everybody's going for.
Not tiramisu. Everyone wants dessert. What you're talking about is the kind of dessert, which is tiramisu.
Okay.
So let's say everyone is getting yellow cake, and that's dessert, right? Everybody's eating the yellow cake, and everybody's happy, thinking that that's what it is. Now then you introduce tiramisu and this person cannot get tiramisu. Now all they're doing is yearning for tiramisu, but they can't get it.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So is it really a good thing to open everybody up to that thing? I don't know. I don't necessarily know. I think
No, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily good for everybody. That's what I was saying. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
I think if you're a guy and you have that experience, I think it's good to guide a girl that's not experienced. But when the girl has the experience, that brings out, in my opinion, whole other spectrum of issues there that you're gonna have to deal with in a relationship. I just think the world is the way it is. It's not a fair place.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, the world is
Porn
not a
is
fair
weird,
place.
man.
So I
It's
think
like
porn addiction is real. I think it ruins
Yeah, it definitely
relationships. I think it ruins a lot of relationships.
What is your opinion on watching it in a relationship, though, in general? Like, not necessarily excessively or normal amount, just in general. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, if you're trying to spice it up with your girl,
Not necessarily with her, like alone as well.
so what exactly I was
I
gonna
much
get
rather.
into.
Yeah, I much rather text message or call someone and then drive 30 minutes. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, you gotta get help
That's
for
actually
those pig issues.
Angel Rosario, that's actually a pretty good topic. We can go into it, but I think we're trying to keep this one a little more off of just going get back
Maybe-
to relationship men
maybe
and
if we need
females. But
something-
that's a really good topic, actually.
It's, you know why he says that? So we are one of our good friends, Calvin, one of the ones that Neo Arrow. You saw the one at the beginning, Neo Arrow that said turn volume up. One of the ones. He's always complaining to us that he's a single income home with his wife and 2 kids. He's always bitching. He's always complaining his ass
I
off
think
about
he
he wants
shouldn't.
more money.
I think he shouldn't. That's his job. He's a man.
He knows that.
Yeah, that's his
He
job.
knows, but
should be
he
doing that.
complains to us like joking around and shit like that. Not sorry. Let me say that. Let me take that back. We mess with him about how he complains.
No, I mean, cause see, here's the thing. I truly believe in roles, right? Like the guy, you go out there, you slay the dragon, you bring the bacon home. Girl is at home making a home out of a house for you, and then making sure that the kids are good. Because, I think women naturally are better than nurturing. So why would they go out there, work for a boss that doesn't respect and love them, or would replace him in a heartbeat versus actually helping you while you go out there and work and do your thing? So I think that's a pretty good dynamic. So I don't know why he's complaining.
Oh, he wasn't complaining. Oh, well, you're talking about Calvin, yeah. Well, he just wants more money, bro. That's all he's wants.
Well, then, I mean, as a guy, you should be able to like come up with things. I'm sure the reason he's married to this girl and has children with her because at one point or another, or still, she sees some sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Ambition in him.
Yeah.
Right. Not necessarily saying that he's a millionaire. I don't know the guy. But she sees some sort of ambition in him. So if she sees that ambition, whatever attracted her to him, if he continues to do that, I think you should be okay. I mean, you can try to earn all the money in the world. You're not going to be able to. He
does good for himself.
Yeah. Are there billionaires out there? Yes. Are there people that live off $50,000 on a household? Yes. I mean, if you're somewhere in that 10 percentile, the 5% of all of the United States, I think you're doing pretty good. I would just, if I were him, I would just look up at the statistics and see household incomes as far as what is considered median household income, what's considered above average, so on and so forth. Like, I mean, who doesn't want to be a Warren Buffett? Yeah, every one of us. Will we be a Warren Buffett? The chance of that is very, very slim.
Very slim. So porn. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think porn is actually, in my opinion, if you're in a relationship, I think porn is actually cheating. This is what I think.
You, of all people, think porn is
All right,
cheating?
Jay, now you're
100%.
Jay, now
Wow,
you're just trying to
you
rile me
mind
up.
blown me with that
Jay,
point.
you're just,
There's no
you're just trying to
way.
make me mad, Jay.
Hey, listen, in my opinion,
As
it
a
is.
man?
As a man, it is cheating because the bottom line is, if you could get those girls that you see on that camera, if you could get them in your daily life, you wouldn't be going to porn. So all it does is that proverbial cheating that girls constantly say, oh, he's a cheater. He smashes this girl and then he smashes that girl and this and that. Well, it's no different. He's not smashing other girls, but he's fantasizing about the other girls.
But that is not the same as actually going and doing it.
If he could, he would.
If he could, he would 100%.
See,
I get that, but
I
another
agree with
thing-
what he's saying, but I don't think that makes it cheating.
I agree with what you're saying,
Now,
and I
is
also
it done?
agree.
Is it done? Is it being done with the same intention? Kind of.
I mean, I also agree with the fact that you're saying like, oh, it's a fantasy, whatever. But I'm sure there's also guys that kind of just throw something on, like don't even actually like watch, and they're not like looking for the specific type of girl that they like, and they're simply just trying to get it over with, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know.
Bruh.
I
Guys
agree
get
and
on
I
there.
disagree.
Guys get on there. I mean, they release the data, right? It's not like, yeah, there's some categories. Every year, they release the data. There are some categories that are trending for this year or another year, but those categories are pretty evenly distributed across the board of like, this, that. And yeah, is there like a niche for it? Like what's the big one? what?
BBL?
No, BBL is the Brazilian butt lift, but for the big girls, what's the one with the big girls?
BBW.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Is there a niche for that? Yes. Is there niche for S&M? Yes.
Why you laugh like that, Mickey?
Is there a niche for all that?
That's your category?
I'm laughing because I was trying to guess. I thought I was playing a fucking game over here.
So I mean, is there a niche for that? Yeah, but in general, it is a guy looking.
I think the cruise ruined my friend. Jorge said that.
Oh man.
but that's
Wait,
that's
Bob,
what I think.
Is there a difference between porn and lusting after?
Actors, curious on your thoughts.
Oh, actually, you know what's funny? I saw a video this week sorry. These guys, in downtown in their city, going asking questions like how we talking about we wanted to do. He was asking, what celebrity would you let your significant other cheat on you with?
None. That's my answer. None.
None.
Zero.
None.
Zero celebrity. That's
No hall passes?
on a girl side.
No.
That's premeditated murder, bro.
Premeditated.
Premeditated murder. If you want to look at it that way, for a guy, if the guy sleeps with somebody else, that's like manslaughter.
That's
On
okay.
a girl
Cool.
side, it's premeditated murder.
Alex said
Premeditated
this,
murder.
and I was thinking that too. What about when the guy is watching porn, not because he wants to go and get those other girls, or because he's fantasizing about those other girls? Yeah, you're right about that. A guy sometimes fantasizes about what he doesn't have, and he's like, "Oh, I want to go watch that." But what about when she just doesn't want to fuck, and you're just trying to get it over with? I mean, you're just trying to get it over with. When she doesn't want to, like your significant other doesn't want to, he or she doesn't want to, and just like she said, you're just trying to get it over with. That does happen. You sometimes just hop on because you're trying to get it over
That's
with.
why. That's why you got to be honest with your girl. Be like, yo, listen, this is the situation. I'm a guy. Blame the testosterone if you want to, but the testosterone makes me want to nut, right? So if you're not gonna do that, be honest with her. If we're not gonna do that, you're not in the mood. I'm hoping you're gonna be okay with me, like calling my number 2 and saying, "Hey, listen, I'm just gonna come over real quick," and it's just
I had a buddy
one hug or a handshake and call it a day.
I had a buddy tell me that his girl let him start doing that the other day. The other day, she was randomly just like, "Yeah, you can start. I know you'll come back," kind of thing. Like,
What?
yeah, she told him, "You can start fucking other girls. I know you'll come back."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, who wants to eat steak every day? Once in a while, you want that,
Scallops.
rice and beans. Shit. It's not always steak and vegetables,
Like you said,
it's not always prime cuts.
Oh, I'm never gonna say that there.
But what I'm trying to say, you just got to be honest, right? Like, blame the testosterone. Why are we blaming men? Like, we were designed this way. There's nothing you can do about it. We're designed this way. Yeah, as a guy, can you? So basically, what it is when you get in a relationship as a guy, you're saying that I'm gonna stop what I was designed to do to appease my girl, because my girl is designed to find the best man she can possibly find, marry, have a family, or get together and have a family and have children, have offspring. The guy's prerogative is to smash as many girls possible and to have as many kids. That's why the way we're designed. So if she doesn't want to do it, I get it. It is what it is. You just go out there. It's just a handshake. You did that and you come back. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, it's your prerogative, Bob.
To get
You
to
can do that.
to the facts a little bit on this, it's really all about moderation with porn. Is from what I've seen with the research, and it's really all the research that says porn directly is bad is really bullshit because it's only backed by the same prerogatives of the research that says it's bad in excess, which is just that like anything is bad in excess. Like how our next topic we're going to talk about is video games is bad in excess. But before we get there, it's about bad in excess because anything like that will cause anxiety, depression once you start doing too much of it. And it's not because you're doing too much of that one thing. It's because, okay, if you're watching too much porn, what are you doing? It's because you're sneaking off and secluding yourself too much. And this habit itself of being by yourself and secluding yourself and being addicted to when I see a girl, I have to go and beat my meat or whatever it is as a whatever. I don't know what it means to be an addict to porn, but.
So being addicted to porn is like that. This happens actually. A lot of couples will get into these issues where guys like have to be just like you said hiding. They'll do it in a shower and things like that. And I read a case study of this psychologist, and basically she was saying she had to work with this guy to like they started working with like playing shower sounds because he couldn't get hard without the sound.
Oh, like he
with
was
his
getting ready
own
to beat
wife,
me?
yeah, with his own wife, yeah. So
Damn.
like he gets to that point where like there's that addiction. Like unless you bust a nut, like you can't function. Like you really cannot function, right? Like a lot of times you go through days like halfway through work and like God damn, like it'd be nice to smash right now, right? But then you're like, oh, I got other responsibilities. So some of these people cannot function literally until they they bust a nut. But it's usually I think on a guy side more than on a girl side. I think men are the victims of this.
I've heard of people that like even at work they will watch porn. Like they'll be doing their job and they just have it there on the side. Like occasionally look over and I'm like, that is weird.
That's when things start to become bad for you.
Yeah.
But that's also just like how a guy who goes on a date with a girl and is like this with his phone watching the fucking game. Whatever fucking sport he likes, that's bad. That shows signs of bad habits within that guy of obsessiveness over something that could not necessarily be good or bad for his life, but more than likely excessiveness is anything in excess usually is bad for you. You drink too much water, you fucking die.
Well, all I'm saying is this: if your girl is attracted to you the way you're attracted to her, and if she's like she's down to whatever, there's really no need for you to actually watch porn, right?
There's never any real need for it at all, but it just makes it easier for men. We all know that, right? We all had to do it as little kids with no material.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Just gotta get you a girl that's gotta drive, and she still like likes you and stuff like that, and she doesn't ever say no. Or you have Becky, and then you also have Jackie, and then you also have Molly, and then you just kind of like go down the list, and it is. Just made up names, and then you just kind of do that, and you spill your plates, and then you play the field, and you do what you got to do. Because I can bet you Dan Bilzerian, again, I'm bringing his name up, or any of these guys that are up there, like Drake, any of the famous guys, I bet they don't have any of these issues.
But
they're not worrying about whether it's going to be a blonde or Asian, right? They're going to worry about which one is coming over and how many friends she's bringing over.
What I'm trying to say is that in reality, what you're kind of saying is really bullshit, because the real underlying condition of why porn is bad isn't because of these obscurities on like why we view social. It's more just because if you're doing it too much, it's bad in general, because it's just anything in excess is bad. The research shows that from what I've seen. Now, do I kind of believe what you're saying as well? Yes, but the research says otherwise.
So yeah, in which way? No. What do you mean the research?
So the research says otherwise in the sense that what you're kind of saying is too much on the extreme scale of why a lot of people say porn is bad. Like that falls too much on the extreme side. Research really has shown that the reason why it's bad is a lot more simple than what you're saying.
That's why I said in the top of the show where like what happens, guys, because it's an easy access, right? So if we innately are lazy because talking to girls and trying to hook up with girls.
What I'm trying to say is that
skill.
Your reasoning is going too deep and falling off. Was what I'm saying. Like,
well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that takes skill, and it takes skill to actually talk to the girl, and then get to the
all
point to
this-
sleep with her. So if it's something easy, porn is something easy. You just go on
Yes.
your phone and
You put www.
yeah, yeah, and with the modern days where that is so accessible, I think what it's doing, it's ruining a lot of the younger men where they don't understand the dynamics between a man and a woman.
So
So this is what it's doing. It's actually
what I'm trying to
slowing
say
down
is
the
that I'm
dynamic.
not saying you're wrong. You're absolutely right, but you're too far extreme on why you're right. So, for example, yes, there are cases on what you're saying, and you do fall in the right. But the majority of the time, the reason why porn is bad is that reason. And then what I also gave an example is why is it sometimes good? Oh, because it opens that shell. Yeah, but that's me giving an example on the extremist side of why it's good. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but
we're giving all the
well,
three
wait a
the 3
minute. You
points
said
here in a
extreme.
sense.
That's true. That would be 100% true.
Like the
if-
bell curve. Think of the bell curve, how we talk about.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
But
you're
the bell curve on this, is 33% between of ages 18 to 24. Guys between ages of 18 to 24 haven't had sex at all, are virgins, or haven't had sex in the past year.
What I'm trying to say is on the bell curve, the one side of where that like 2 point something percent falls is what you're saying, and then the other 2 percent is like the how it's good, and then the middle is just in general.
No, well, see, that's the thing. My thing is, it's not the middle is not the general, because on a bell curve you have the pi 1, right? When you're looking at
It's
the
like
bell
72
curve,
something, right?
pi 1 is about 70%, and then pi 2 goes to about a 96, I think, and
Yeah,
then
98.
98 from there.
Yeah.
So if you take 33%, which is 16% on this side and 16% on that side, that actually starts eating into pi 2. Does that make sense? So majority of people which are in the middle of the bell curve, right? Like that's that pi 1, that's the 70%. So if that's the 70%, if you take 100 minus 33, you're falling into 66 category, right? Which means that's actually cutting into pi 1. So on a normal distribution, statistically speaking, on a normal distribution, a lot of young men are not getting laid. And the reason they're not getting laid, there's multitude of reasons why is that. But one of those reasons is accessibility to easy sex, which is porn.
I
in
agree.
that sense. So I think that's what's happening. But anyway, I think we've exhausted this
Yeah,
one. Aren't we?
yeah.
Yeah. What's
So,
next? What you got next?
Video games.
Video games. Yeah, let's talk about
earlier.
video games. I like this topic. So, in my opinion, I think there's a time for you to do video games, to play video games. I've done it. However, I think it could be destructive in a sense that you only have about 16 hours in your day, not including the sleep time that you have. So if you have 16 hours in a day, I think as a guy or as a girl, I think you should spend your time doing other things, bettering yourself. Unless you're gonna become a professional video game player, I don't think you should contribute excessive amount of play to video games. I think it's just a waste of time. It's not a good way of using your time. I'm not saying don't play video games. Play video games. Limit it to 2 hours a week max, 3 hours max.
That's funny.
So,
Almost everybody viewing is gonna think that's hilarious.
well, I mean, they can think whatever they want to think.
No, I'm saying like his friends that are viewing. These are all his gamer friends.
No, and I understand that. And as I said again, unless you're going to become a professional video gamer, but in their case, it's a little bit different. They're actually having
like
a
a hangout
conversation.
for
Yeah, they're
them,
hanging
yeah.
out, right? On top of that, it's playing a video game.
So yeah, that we can all get to that point. For example, right? A lot of us, a lot of us. What the hell? Which that's like Eddie Asensio. That's my dad probably. Shit. Motherfucker.
So when I'm talking about video games, unless you're going to become a professional video gamer, I think you should chuck it. Same way I view sports. Unless sport, in my opinion, watching sports is a waste of time. In my opinion, in addition, if you're watching, if you're watching, let's say, if you're listening to an audiobook, if you're watching a podcast, if you're listening to a podcast, I think unless you're watching it at two plus speed, it's a waste of your time. Because these are just fillers, right? In my opinion, I think you should go out there and better yourself, learn another skill, educate yourself, do something different, learn something that you already don't know, versus waste time on random stuff, which I call it random, but
I agree in the sense that, yeah, we all need to better ourselves, but we all also agree that we need time to sit back and relax.
So,
right?
for example, like a lot of people might think what I do, like, my hobby that I have is a waste of time, which in reality it is. It is a waste of time. I could be using this doing something else, but in my hobby, I'm learning a fucking skill. Let's say it's self-defense, right? I'm learning the skill.
And it's
And
a
I
workout.
do this, and it's a workout. So I'm actually killing.
You can say it's
3
good in the
birds with
sense
one
exactly.
stone.
I would say it's good in the sense for your health, right? Because
Yes.
you're getting a workout, which if you're not going to the gym but you're doing that, then cool, good.
Yeah.
But the whole self-defense thing, I kind of say that's bullshit because how often do we fight? How often do we really need that? The time is over for that. We don't do that. And I mean, maybe some people do in the world, but like, when do we fight? Like actually, like need to defend ourselves with our hands. When have you ever had to really do that?
You don't
No.
fight. There's a reason why with guys it's a little bit different than with girls. Like, that's why you see a lot of girls will, resort to screaming and violence because they know nothing is going to happen to them. But with the guys it's a little bit different. When you square up, you kind of know that there's a impeding like sense of danger here, right? Like,
Yeah, there's a chance someone
things
might
can
die.
go down. Things can go down, and when they go down, it's not going to be just pulling hair, right? So I think with guys is a little bit different, and I think every man should be able to defend himself and his family. Number one, right? So pick a hobby that's going to kill 3 or 4 birds with one stone. Period. You do that, and then now you have your hobby where you get your mental break, where you do get your endorphins. Number 2, let's say you're working out at the same time. Number 3, you're learning a skill. Number 4, you're learning discipline, right? So it encompasses a bunch of things, and then you put that at 2 hours every day. You do that as a hobby to get away with everything else. That's a different story.
So I'm gonna not play devil. I guess you can say like I'm gonna play the other side of you, right? Me getting into gaming has not just learned, like, for example, you can't try me. You can't fucking try me on this. When you game, your reaction time is better.
Yes.
You have better reaction time,
Obviously.
right? Okay. Also, I've learned the skill of building fucking computers. I know so much shit when it comes to computers,
Good.
right? I know a bunch of knowledge that can actually be applicable in some sense. Depends on what you're doing. It depends.
I'm just answering back to Alex.
Oh.
I have. They didn't stand a chance.
You could also argue that it's taught you how to make this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean? I can absolutely fucking argue that. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What'd you
That
Like
the
setting
gaming,
everything up.
if I didn't get into fucking gaming, we would not be here right now. Absolutely.
No, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But do you need, let's say here, okay, fine, you got into gaming. Do you need to play 6 hours of gaming to know all this stuff? No. That's
no,
what I'm trying to say.
So yeah, but then that
I'm not
gets
saying
to
don't do it. I'm just saying do it.
That gets
but
into
don't
our-
go into the excessive.
that
part.
gets into our current our current like thing, which is moderation, which is what I want to talk about. Everything needs to be taken in moderation. Like, I've talked to doctor about this. I had a good question because I have heard a lot about psychedelics, right? And I asked him, what do you think of how people talk about microdosing and stuff like that? And he said that the effects can be extremely positive
Could
for the
be.
first 3 months.
Could be, yeah.
For the
There's
first 3
research
months.
to suggest that.
And he says you're gonna feel great, and he says that the whole thing about psychedelics is that it literally alters your reality, right? Like, literally, in your brain makes you feel like your reality is altered, right? So if you're on this pedestal here all the time, and first to talk about microdosing, why it's bad is because eventually you're just gonna need more and more and more, right? Because our tolerance goes up as humans. We just know that, right? So once it gets to a point where you need more and more, it's like, okay, well, I don't need a gram of mushrooms. I need a whole ounce of mushrooms in the morning so I can feel something, right? So that's when the things start to become bad. And then also, he said, you're on this pedestal here, high, and then, okay, if you want to make sure you don't have to worry about tolerance, what you're going to have to do is take it for 3 months, get off of it for 3 months. Take it for 3 months, get off it. But then what that's going to do is fuck with your reality constantly. We're going to be on this up, and then you're going to be on this down. And then you're going to be on this up, and then you're going to be on this down. And you're literally going to basically be like, what is that called? I had the word on the tip of my tongue. What is it? Bipolar.
Limbo.
It's going to, like, you're literally would fucking force
Mood
yourself
swings.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
You would literally force yourself to be a bipolar.
Yeah, because
in
the highs
sense.
would be really high,
Dude,
and then
I mean,
while you're off, it
we're
would be
not talking
really low.
about microdosing. I can tell you from my
But
own experience.
what I was talking about was how anything can be good in moderation.
Yeah, but what I'm talking, it's my own experience. I do my thing 2 hours every day. Sometimes it's 6 days a week, sometimes 7, sometimes it's only 5, right? But then there are days that I'll take off and like I haven't done it for 3 days and I'm already antsy. Like I'm crawling up the walls. Like I need get back into it because that levels me out, right? Like the endorphins kick in and serotonin, dopamine, all of that stuff kicks in and levels you out. But then it makes me think clearer as well because now I'm not like a lot of times people will come out and they'll start talking about their day, this and that and that. And all I can think about is like, bro, you don't even know what I just went through. I had 6 guys that weigh 100 pounds more than me trying to choke me, break my arm. Like, go through that, and then we can have this conversation how you couldn't, how Publix did not have your favorite tofu to buy. You know what I mean? And now you're upset because you didn't get your favorite tofu. So, bottom line, all I'm saying,
To each their own, Jay. To each their own.
I guess, all I'm saying as a guy, you should do these things because our bodies naturally are designed for it, right? Higher density of muscle, higher density of bones. We are bigger upper body strength, much bigger if you take women comparison to men. Our torso to hip to shoulder ratio is different.
I was gonna come choke you out on the couch.
Trying to be
Do it on the podcast, on the
You got a new
pod.
member. Get it. Get it. Grab it. Grab the mic.
I was gonna choke you out, homie. BJJ for life.
What you think about
Orale.
playing a lot of video games, Ozzy?
Yes, I like playing video games too. Orale.
We're talking about how things can be bad in excess and moderation, stuff like that. We were talking about porn earlier.
Oh yes, I was following the podcast.
Oh, the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, of
Cool.
course.
Thank you.
Jay,
Hey, there he is.
you wanna come sit so I can go get some water real quick?
Go
Go
ahead.
right ahead.
Oh.
Your tag.
Let's get your opinion on your boyfriend playing video games all the time.
There's nothing wrong with playing video games.
I honestly do not care. Like, people tell me all the time, like, do you not care he's playing all day? And I'm like, no, not really. Like, clearly, if there's a moment where we have plans or something and he's playing, of course I'm going to get upset. But honestly, I'd rather him be in his room playing video games than out and about.
Playing Cuphead, Goat Simulator.
Farming
Gary's
Simulator.
mod. Gary's
I like
mod.
shooters, man.
There
I like
you go.
no, I like
Gary's mod.
shooters,
Huh? Pick you
personally.
up.
My first PC game was Gary's mod.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
awesome game.
It was funny because the first gamer I watched was this guy named Vanos. He's not really that big anymore, but it was the first gamer I ever watched, and that's what he played. And I was like, "Fuck it, I want to get a PC. I'm gonna play that." I asked Nando, "What do I need for a gaming PC?" He said, his dumb ass. All he said was i5.
You want
the
me? You want me?
only
You want,
guideline he gave
you want me
me.
to date myself? My first video game was Pong.
Yeah, you're
on the
old.
Atari.
You're old.
Yes,
You're very
and the
old.
next I've owned.
Isn't that like the first?
I don't know if it's the first,
I thought
but
Pong,
it was
not necessarily on the Atari.
Well,
but I thought Pong itself was the
my first
game.
video game was 1983, 1984, Atari 2600, and with Pong, and then I had in '89 I had my first Nintendo. I worked all summer, and I bought a Nintendo Entertainment System with
Sound like a
Mario
movie.
and Duck Hunt. Oh my God, that was addictive times, And
I thought it was cool. I figured out the other day how the technology of games like that, like Duck Hunt, or even how like the Wii, that's a lot newer, right? Use it's not really the sensor. That's not actually a sensor. That's just an infrared light.
Yes, right, of
to
course.
go onto the controller that the
Yeah.
controller looks at. I thought that was cool. I
Yeah.
thought it
Oh, I
would,
did
you
not
know,
know that.
yeah. You think of it backwards. Right, like that. There's a sensor coming from that. No, you can literally replace that with any infrared light.
right, of course.
If you lose that little Wii sensor or like the thing that comes with the Duck Hunt, right? That's what you use, right?
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I figured out the other day. It works backwards, like you think. But yeah, and
I only came for the jujitsu.
I was gonna choke him out, but
choke him out.
yeah, I
You
try.
have-
I've tried. I tried. Believe me. Usually an Americana is what works on this guy, or maybe a Kimura sometimes.
That was my go-to move when I do MMA.
Yeah, Americana.
Kimura. And
I
side-
just
Kimura and
push
side
his little
control.
arms to the side and then just go and then go.
Kimura and side
Look at
control
Jay's
was
face.
my go-to when I did MMA
Yeah.
when I was in middle school.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He forgets that I let him do
let's
it?
demonstrate.
The very first time that I submitted Jay, he used to tap me all the time. But as I started going every day, and practicing and learning different techniques, I went ahead and I applied a perfect Americana, and I applied it, and he tapped, and I was like, yes, yes, it was like one of the greatest feelings, one of the best moments in my life. And this mother effer says, I let you do it because you did it correctly. It's like, what? What will you take away from that? What will you take? What will you
He
take?
was having
this away
the
from me?
greatest moment ever, and you
I know,
ruined
he's
it.
like, I let you do it because you did it correctly.
But then if you did it correctly, then how did he let you do it?
Exactly.
That's what I was gonna say, right? It's like, oh, you got hit in the face. Oh, you did it great. I let you hit me, but you did it perfect.
exactly.
No. That's not how it was. He didn't tell you the full story. He was there for probably solid minute or two trying to get that Americana in.
He's like,
he couldn't do
your
it.
hands like
for,
all
for
over
a
the place,
minute or
trying
two.
to grab the hand.
For
I
a
bet.
minute or two, he could not submit me. I mean, it was hurting, but I wasn't gonna tap because he wasn't doing it correctly until he did it correctly.
You
That's when I was
it
like,
hurt,
bro.
and then he tapped.
That's what I understand about you BJJ guys. Like, you hate tapping. Like, break the arm, break the leg.
Oh,
Bro, like the other day I saw, they had the combat jujitsu's blowing up a lot, right? And
well, like with the slapping.
yeah, with the slapping and stuff. You seen what's the guy? Jared Gordon? Not Jared Gordon. Gordon Ryan.
Gordon Ryan, of
He's
course.
blowing up
The
a lot.
GOAT,
Yeah,
GOAT.
he's blowing up, man. No, he's not
No.
doing combat, but he's blowing up a lot too. Is what I'm talking about.
Oh, he's the GOAT, right? He's the best, undefeated.
Yeah,
Ain't no
no
gi.
gi.
Of course.
Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about, but
He's got this man
I see a lot of
doesn't
him.
have a job. Jiu-Jitsu is his job. He's
Yeah.
dedicated. He trains every
Guys
day,
like
7
that,
days a week.
yeah.
And he's got one of the best coaches, John Danaher, as his coach, as his BJJ coach. And John Danaher used to be a psychology professor. Found Jiu-Jitsu, loved it, and then he started teaching it. And I think that's the reason why Gordon Ryan is who he is, because of his coach.
You know what's takedown I've been seeing a lot that I love.
Plus, he's juicing.
I don't. Oh, absolutely, all those guys. But I forgot. Fuck. DC said the name. Something sweep. It was a country named after it, but it's something about he's got his arm, he's got his wrist locked, and he acts like he's going for a takedown and sweeps his arm when he tries to sprawl. When the other guy tries to sprawl, and he comes up on the
Like
other
an
side.
arm drag type of thing?
Ah, it's weird, man. I gotta find it.
Where's your mic, Jay? Oh. Well, I only popped in here momentarily because I know you guys were talking about BJJ, and I was like, let me go choke this man out.
Yeah.
Live on YouTube.
You know, we had a comment to say that you guys should demo the choke.
Yes.
You want to demo the choke?
I don't want a
Somebody
demo. I
said
wanna-
it.
He said he doesn't want a demo. He wants to do it. Like, he wants to choke you out.
Do we gotta move the table, or you think it's good?
All right, position, forearm bicep. Look at Jay! Look at Jay! He's got no neck.
He's very hard to choke. He's very, very hard to choke.
Yeah, man.
Actually, I don't think I've ever successfully tapped him out with a choke, ever.
You want to take this one over there?
But you know what was funny?
Is it that Jay has no neck, or is it that Ozzy's arms are too big?
It's both.
Well,
It's both. You got a man with how big are your arms? Probably.
I don't know. Pretty big.
Huge.
You want to try?
Huh? No, I don't know what the heck I'm doing,
Show-
but I mean, I know my
Jay-
arm will definitely fit between.
You know, it's funny. The other day, I went up behind her. I said, "Babe, you know I know how to choke someone out," and I did it to her.
Come on.
Show me how to choke him.
So we're giving
Okay.
BJJ lessons here.
BJJ lessons.
We should start doing that. We do live BJJ lessons.
Put your elbow underneath his chin. You can grab right here. There it is. Now grab your own bicep and bring this hand like this and shove it behind. Now squeeze. Stick out your chest a little bit and squeeze. There
He's not gonna tap. He would not tap to you. You could squeeze as hard as you wanted, babe. He was not gonna fucking tap on you.
He's a proud man.
He would not tap to you. He definitely
Like,
would
see,
not.
it looks like you have a neck with my arm. It's just
And Jay would have
Ozzy's
gone
arm.
to sleep before tapping. It's all about, bro.
There's no shame in my game.
Believe
I
it or
tap
not-
early. I tap often. I don't want to get hurt.
Believe it or not, it's crazy. Like, you know, you do a body triangle on somebody and you put your legs like this. You're like, damn, I can fit somebody in there.
Yes.
But you do.
Yes.
Believe it or
right
not.
here in the stomach. And
Yeah.
that is a miserable position
Yes,
to be in.
it sucks.
Let me tell you
It's
something.
literally like being
I
in the
used to
anaconda,
watch-
like
I used-
squeeze.
I watched MMA for many years. But then once I started practicing jiu-jitsu and then I watched MMA, then I really understood what was really going on. And it was like, whoa! You know, I've been there. Oh, that's rough.
It's about how Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan talked about this the other day. You know, it's a whole different ball game. A lot of most UFC people will watch those fights, and the moment they go to the ground, they're like, "Huh?" It's like when you watch chess. You don't know chess. You watch
exactly.
chess, and you're like, "I don't know what the fuck's going on."
Right.
It's
right.
literally the same thing of grappling, unless
Human
you.
chess, absolutely.
It's literally the
Yeah,
same
it's
thing
like
of
how
grappling.
I say that. They look like they're just cuddling. Like,
Yeah, they
I
just
have
look
no
like
idea
they're
what
grabbing. Oh,
doing.
why doesn't he just grab his arm and twist it? You know, in some people who don't have any idea what boxing is, like, why doesn't he just punch him right there in that moment?
Yeah.
They don't understand that the same thing.
Here's a.
But it's a lot easier for hand-to-hand combat. You know, oh, he clearly just fucking knocked him in his jaw. Everybody can get excited about that. But when you see someone pull off a Kimura, like, and they don't know what that is, like, I don't know what happened.
Yes.
How did he checkmate him?
Here's an interesting opinion I have that a lot of people don't share it with me. Is that jiu-jitsu is good. However, I don't think jiu-jitsu is. It's good in a ring with rules.
It's good in
In a ring with rules.
it's good in a
Sambo is a much better sport for MMA.
So no, I think in real life when things are
what we're talking
happening-
about is real like application. So if you're gonna fight in the street, in a sense,
yeah.
Well, what you have to understand is that most people don't know how to fight. Most people don't know how to fight.
no, absolutely not.
They're you see the wild punches, just throwing punches, but once you know how to submit somebody and how to dominate and how to take somebody under control, that's why all you have to do is Google BJJ guy submits a robber in the store, and the cops show up and the guy is wrapped into a gift package for the cops, you know, just wrapped up, you know, arm back here, you're grabbing them,
But-
you're sitting on them, and they cannot do
So
anything.
I personally think that if somebody came up to me and said, "What is the martial art that I should learn if I want to not get beat up in the street?" Like if somebody come up to me and it was just trying to bully me, or like for example, somebody in school.
but why does it have to be one?
What do you mean?
Because
one?
BJJ is great to know, but boxing is also good to know.
Yeah, of course.
Kickboxing is also
now,
good to know.
that's what I'm saying. The specific question: if I wanted to go and learn one thing, what should I learn?
One thing.
I say kickboxing.
Kickboxing, hands down.
You know what I would say? I would say Sambo.
Sambo, yeah, but for you to learn Sambo, you have to have really good coaches, which in the United States you really don't.
Yeah.
That's
true.
that's the issue.
Yeah. What about Krav Maga?
Krav Maga is another.
I feel like that's
Maga-
another gym one.
Israeli special forces learn Krav Maga.
So Krav Maga is basic. Okay, so we're hanging out on a cruise, and I was talking to a friend of mine that's a marshal, right? And this guy's been in situations. He goes, and we're having this conversation. He goes, okay, well, let's say you're rolling with someone, right? Let's say it's a real scenario, and somebody's trying to attack you and trying to cause you actual harm, right? There's no tapping, there's none of that shit. He goes, at this point, if I have your arms, I'm biting your nose off. I'm literally chewing your cheek. And then he said, I will literally like bite and gouge and squeeze your eyes out. He goes, and this is where Krav Maga comes in, right? Because Krav Maga is for the Israeli special forces, and that's what they really do. There's no limits. You kick somebody in the groin, you literally
Right,
poke
right.
their eyes out, you rip
want-
their ears off, you know.
You want to neutralize your opponent with any means necessary
Yeah.
as fast as possible. That's
Yeah,
basically
that's what
it
it's about.
And this is
Now,
what I'm saying.
but-
Jiu-jitsu is.
But you study only kickboxing, and you know how to box, you know how to kick,
Of course,
All I have
somebody
to do,
like you.
I can just shoot your legs, take you down to the ground, and then you won't know what to do.
But
You can't punch. You can't kick.
Let me ask you this: don't you think that somebody like you, because you've never had to deal with it? Oh, if I go to shoot for a leg, you never had to worry about that foot coming for your face.
Man, I can.
Well, it's not that. For me, it's not that.
It's kind of like both worlds. If I can stay on
Now,
the feet,
if
I'm good.
a one-on-one-
If you can get me close, you're good.
Man,
it's kind of like
I'm taking you down, homie. You know,
Bro, but if you
it's about closing the distance. You know what? If I'm
But a good kickboxer knows how to keep
if I'm-
distance.
Okay, from there to here, you can't touch me. And then if I'm right next to you, you can do nothing to me either.
But see, this is the thing.
You have to manage distance, right? So if I'm that close to you already, you're coming to the ground, and I'm taking you down with me, and we're taking this to the ground.
So let's
Man,
say if it's
I'm
in
telling you, if you get
Now,
within that
if you
distance,
got a buddy with
and I
you-
let go a front kick right into your solar plex, it's a different feeling, man.
Well, it's not
yes,
even
of
that.
course,
Bro,
but you have.
it's what I'm saying. Kickboxing. If you're trying to look, if I'm in the street and I'm gonna get into a situation like that, I don't want to be on the
But
floor.
my
man.
point,
Thank
my
you.
point is,
That's
my
what I was
point
going
is, why can you know both?
I agree. You should know both. If
You
you're
know,
gonna,
it doesn't take much to learn some basic BJJ. It doesn't take much. You know, maybe a year of training. You know, a couple times a week, and you can become pretty sufficient at it.
So
And to know enough to defend yourself and how to put somebody down.
So if it's a one-on-one conversation, one-on-one fight, like if you know for a fact 100% there's no one else around you, one-on-one, definitely do jiu-jitsu. I think jiu-jitsu will take down a kickboxer any day of the week.
Bob
Now-
the Builder says, "Can we see Eddie demonstrate a high kick?"
no, I haven't done MMA since like
Now,
freshman year of high school.
now let's say you're out and about downtown walking around and pop fights.
Miguel, make it happen. Oh, you want me to kick Miguel in the face? That's fucked up. That's fucked up. You guys want me to kick Miguel?
I think he wants me to orchestrate the thing, make sure everything's good. I'm not taking the kick though.
So all I'm trying to say, if you're in a downtown walking around and something pops off and there's a bunch of people around, last thing I want to do is go to the ground. All I want to do is 1-2 punch kick and then move. 1-2 punch kick and move. That's all I want to do. I'm not going down on the ground. I'm not doing any.
Before, like as a like with boxing, it's just like I can neutralize the situation like that. Like before you even go for the shoot, left hook on the jaw, down on the floor. It's like, you know, you kind of look at the situation in both ways. That's why I say.
Right? Little arm drag, and you're coming down. with
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right, and you're absolutely right. If you can, the moment you can get me in,
it. My wife.
That was like, hey.
Sumo. Oh my god.
So anyway, all I'm saying is, if you're in a crowded area, I
Ooh,
think
sumo.
in a crowded area.
We get the little diapers.
Oh, do you know? Actually, talking about sumo is probably one of the most rigged sports out there, I guess, because I don't know I don't remember the exact thing. I think it's like 8 points and then 11 points. 11 points is, if you got 11 points, meaning 11 wins, you get to be the sumo champion, right? But if you have 9 points, right, and somebody you're rolling with, like, you're trying to compete with the guy that has 10 points, he's like, listen, even if you're better than me, you can win, but then we both have 10 points and nobody wins. Why don't you drop? Like, let me win. You'll keep your 9 points, but I'll have 11 and I'll become a champion. And the next time you're in that situation, we'll do that too. So it's the most rigged sport in all the sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how rigged it is.
Basically, like the points are give take in a sense, and so when then you're
It's
just
not give take. They're not supposed to be give take. It's they have a conversation in a locker room with each other, saying, "Hey, listen, I got 9 wins and you got 10 wins, right? So the guy that has 10 wins can be a champion by having 11 wins." So he tells the guy with the 9 wins, says, "Listen, we're going next. I want you to throw the towel, let me win, so I can get the championship,
and I'll do
they
it for you next time.
Yeah. And by the way, there was another thing that this sambo guy, actually, I think it was a Russian sambo guy or judo guy. He went to Japanese sumo and he was like 150 pounds lighter or 200 pounds lighter than these guys, and ended up mopping the floor. So they don't like that too much because the smaller guy came in and just tossed a bunch of big guys around, and they're supposed to be like sumo champions and stuff like that. So, yeah, so there's that about sumo. It's actually in that book, Freakonomics. It's really good. It's an interesting read, actually.
Right on.
Quick read.
I find it hard to read, man. I feel like
Listen,
school made that
Audiobook,
fun like
audiobook, yeah.
Audiobooks, bro.
Get an Audible account.
Audible account.
Get some knowledge in you.
Yeah,
Even-
get to two speed or 3 speed. You'll go through books like hotcakes. As much as driving as you do, bro, forget it. I'll go through books like nothing. Anyway, but what you got on the docket next?
Well, I gotta go home.
Yeah, your wife was talking about
Yeah,
the time.
I know. We get up at 6 a.m.
Oh, before you go, if you want to talk about another quick topic, I can jump to the one I asked you about at dinner.
What are you talking about?
The steroid use.
The what use? I'm sorry.
Steroids.
Steroids.
I was
Ooh.
talking. You were talking about that at dinner. I asked you about that.
Yeah. like I don't take steroids unless you count testosterone replacement therapy as steroids, which it kind of is, I guess. But when it
Go into a little bit. What is that? Like somebody who doesn't know. Like I don't know anything about that. So
yeah, but what is the
testosterone.
topic?
No. What you just talked about. What is that? Testosterone.
Well,
replacement.
testosterone. Well, males and females both produce testosterone, and as you get older, testosterone is used to regulate a lot of things in your body, energy, sex drive, libido,
Bone density, muscle
growth, all of that.
fat deposits.
And as you get older, your levels of testosterone decrease. So when you do testosterone replacement therapy, you bring the testosterone levels back up to when they were when you were a young person, and now you can work out harder, build more muscle, have more energy. You know, there are many benefits. Now, I think the question was, what do I think about steroid use? And to each his own, man. There's definitely a lot of risk associated with steroids. And
I was looking up at it. Even sorry to cut you off, but it even has is related to cases like could cause glaucoma in excessive use
I don't know about that
because
but
it causes your body to no longer produce cortisol naturally.
cortisol's level can drop, yes, but your body produces cortisol
In excessive
anyway.
use. This was an excessive use,
Of course, anything excess is not going to be good for you.
which is our topic today.
but-
Moderation.
I get it. I get it.
I did research in a certain way.
Okay, well, basically, I don't think there are so many. For what I understand, there's only so many cycles that your body can tolerate of a steroid use. So if you're going to use steroids, you should really have a reason why. Like, do other natural things. Like, before you take testosterone, take supplements that help you boost your own testosterone versus taking it exogenous. I think that's the word.
I've seen a lot of bodybuilders talking about they think testosterone use is okay once you've exhausted all of their natural.
Exactly.
You've reached
Because
your natural abilities.
You will.
Like your natural max in a sense.
Well, you will. Your body will stop producing its own testosterone. With me, on a healthy adult, testosterone should be between 300 and 800. Those are the numbers. Somewhere along that neighborhood. 350 and 825. Somewhere.
250 to
Three-
about 1,000. It depends what
My
you look at.
testosterone was at 95. I felt like shit all the time. I was tired all the time. I had no reason to go to the gym. Nothing. I just didn't want to do anything. I was just going through life, going through the motions. Once I started taking testosterone about a year ago, I felt alive again, man. Seriously. It was just night and day. Just going to the gym, working out every day, feeling strong again, feeling healthy, taking care of the missus in the bedroom, so it really helped me out a lot. Now, when it comes to other steroid use, those can cause liver damage, kidney damage. There are a lot of things that can go wrong. And when you start messing with your endocrine system, you can really throw things off balance if you don't know what you're doing. So if you're going to do anything, talk to a physician, do the blood work, do the things.
Yeah, and it's a weekly thing too. Like doing blood work pretty much every week, at the very least a month, once a month,
Yeah, once a month,
at the very least. But
just to make sure
you kinda you have to
you're
monitor
not
that.
fucking something up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but see, the testosterone is that when you were younger, or you still are, you girl will call you and
I
like,
saw
I'm two
that.
hours away. 2 hours away? I could be there an hour and 30 minutes. You know what I mean? That's what made you hop in a car and go and do things. Like testosterone is the reason you go out there and you're competitive. The testosterone is the reason that you do all these things. So when the levels start going down, for whatever reason, this or that, I mean, your weight can affect that. Bunch of things can affect that, right? So that's why I say, as a guy, your number one remedy that you can do is working out. Literally
La pena
working
es
out.
Cialis.
Yeah.
That I feel.
Hey, the chat likes you, Ozzy. I like
Oh,
this
yeah?
guy. Make him permanent. He's awesome.
Oh, right on. Perfect.
You know, we have an episode with him, but Miggy fucked that up. Miggy last.
Yeah. So
lost
by
half
the
our
way,
episode that
to
we
the
do.
viewers,
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't Miggy's fault. I'm fucking around. It's really not Miggy's fault. The file got corrupted when he was trying to change it.
to the viewers, we're actually gonna
Backups.
we're gonna start.
I told
doing,
him he needs to double copy everything, but
We already told them we're
that's
gonna
another
do.
conversation, Miggy.
We're gonna do a episode where we're gonna bring in a guest speaker and they're gonna kind of talk about their life and how they became who they are, what they do, and usually these are gonna be people that are pretty successful in life that have done things differently, So we're gonna have episodes like that. It just so happened today we're having a little fiesta, so we got everyone in the same place. But
Yeah.
it's not gonna be an everyday thing. So
Yeah.
when we do it, it's gonna be right. But anyway, so yeah, that's
Quick thing real quick. We're gonna say happy birthday to my mom real quick.
Speak into it. They can see you already.
Happy birthday, mama.
Thank you. I'm Eddie's mom. Thank you for the birthday wishes.
It wouldn't be without her. We wouldn't have this podcast because we wouldn't have where to do it.
Okay, sound good. Thank you.
Oh, I don't know who
Look how
that is,
beautiful.
but they're actually 100% correct. That you go through a 24-hour cycle, and then by the end of the week you can.
That's that's Natalie.
Okay.
Graciela's
By the
daughter.
end of the week, you can deplete it. So a lot of athletes, what they'll do, they'll go hard for entire week, and then on Friday they'll go to the doctor's place, get their blood work done, and like, oh, I'm low on testosterone, get prescribed testosterone naturally, and then they take that, and then they just boost their level through the roof, so they can continue training and whatnot, and getting stronger and whatnot.
Thank you guys for the wishes for my mom.
But yeah, so what do you got next? What topic?
We just talked about steroids, but what I wanted to another question. We talked about this at dinner, but so the people at home can hear your opinion. Sports, because I agree with what Mike Tyson said. I think that it should be allowed in sports that are besides combat sports. I personally, this is my personal opinion, that it shouldn't be allowed in sports that we are physically hurting each other. Maybe even in sports like football, shouldn't be allowed. But it's kind of hard to draw the line.
That's what you really need it, my friend.
Yeah, right. That's when they really need it. But
Of
it's
course.
kind of hard to draw the line, right? I mean, in football nowadays, as a parent, you're clearly hurting yourself. It wasn't before, but now it is. But in fighting and combat sports, it's always been apparent you're fucking your head up, right? We all know what happened to Muhammad Ali. We all saw that.
Yeah.
And it's very apparent that combat sports is gonna mess your body up, whether you want it or not. In the long term, sparring. If you're actually live sparring, it's gonna mess your body up.
You can train longer. You can work out longer. You have more endurance, more stamina.
This is what I talked to.
This is the problem.
I talked to a friend of mine that's a nutritionist, like actual nutritionist, and he agreed. He agrees.
No, of course,
With what you're
of
saying
course.
now.
But my opinion on this is that I never really thought about this, but
In sports,
when we were at dinner, I said, "Yeah, absolutely, let them do it." But then, I don't think that's how I really feel, because what happens is, if you don't want to do this to your body, and you want to compete, now, in order to be able to be competitive, now you have to do what everybody else is doing, or else you're not going to succeed. Period. So I think the natty way, going natural, I think it's the best way because you can push the body to its limits of human performance without PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. So, but testosterone, again, if you're young, most people that play sports are young. They don't need this shit. You know, who needs it? People in their 40s, late 40s and 50s. That's who needs testosterone. That's who needs, you know, other steroids and whatnot. But if you're young, you really don't need it. Or unless you're, or if you're a bodybuilder, that's who, you know, every bodybuilder is.
I mean, all these bodybuilders, of course,
they're all juicing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
they're all taking shit.
Here's
man.
an
Of
idea.
course.
Since you guys got a Discord chart going, why don't you create a Discord chart specifically for this channel? And you can be moderators there. How about we get a moderator and they can moderate this chat as
The
well?
supreme ruler.
You know what I mean?
What is Discord? Oh, the gaming app.
Yeah, we use it for
gaming
gaming,
chat.
but believe it or not, Discord is being used for way more now
Yeah.
than just that. It's just like another. Do you remember Kick? The group chat
I
thing?
used to play Modern Warfare 2 on Steam, and we used to use Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started off for gamers.
Yeah.
Right? Gamers were the people who used it, or just in general PC people. Right? Now Discord is like, you remember Kick, the app Kick we use like for Messenger. That
That
they
was,
just talk, literally just to message people.
I remember
right?
Kick.
Like kind of like a Snapchat,
Yeah,
but just
that
Messenger.
never went anywhere.
It went where for a while, believe it or not, for the young people. We used it for a long time, and it was actually used a lot. But Discord is like a Kick on steroids because you have multiple channels. You can do live streams. You
Right.
are actually talking because you're talking.
I haven't been on
know,
there in a minute.
It's crazy.
I
They
haven't-
added the other day.
I
they
haven't
added,
been on Discord since the LAN parties, homie.
They added games.
Yeah.
Homie, they added games.
I
like
gotta
you
check it out.
like Facebook game. You know when Facebook added games.
Farm Bill?
Yeah.
God damn, no.
They added
He
shit like
said
that,
Farm
man.
Bill.
I spend way
The
too
other
much money
day,
on that shit.
now they even have a subscription. I pay $10 a month for Discord Nitro, so I can stream all my stuff at full quality. I can
Okay.
send the unlimited file size. So like when you don't have Nitro, you can only send like a 5 megabyte file, so like a 720p photo, literally. And if it's bigger than that, they won't let you send it. Want you to pay, man. Subscriptions. That's a good one right there. What you guys think? Everything is a subscription now.
It's just a subscription model.
Everything is subscription now.
I'm doing subscription on my own business.
Yeah, no, right. You said Vitality
freemium
is going to be a
stuff.
subscription thing, but I think it was fucking amazing. Like you're getting into that, right?
Yeah.
That's so smart.
The freemium service is where it's at. Getting
Oh
the
my God.
freemiums.
I honestly wish the games that my kids play, I wish they were not free games. I wish, you know what? Charge me $100 for goddamn, what's it called? Fortnite. Just charge me. You know what? Charge me $200 and don't charge me another dollar. It would be cheaper than what I've paid on fucking Fortnite. Seriously. You know, every time I see the credit cards, it's like, oh, what are you?
Well,
What?
This is the
Or
thing.
Call of Duty bucks. Really?
This is the thing, though. In personal experience, I played those games, and I was one to say, "Oh, I have it for free," and you think I'm gonna give you money? I'm already playing for free. I don't need any more of this. And everything that you pay for is purely aesthetic.
Yeah.
Almost
yeah.
none of those games. I've only played one game that is pay to win, which is Tarkov, and it's only pay to win because you pay and it gets you a little bit ahead in the game. Everything you paid for, you can really still do in the game just by grinding.
Right.
So you're saying even games have steroids?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And you can even go beyond that and start cheating in the game, which is like
I'm talking
boost-
shit, but every time a new Call of Duty comes in, I'm buying the extra packs and
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what I started doing now. I gave into that shit
oh,
too.
that's a nice gun. I need this.
In the beginning I didn't. When I played on PlayStation, I really didn't. I didn't buy a single thing, and I just played the game for free, and I enjoyed that. They have to add that though because people want the eyes on them, and that's what the skins are, right? Like the thing, right? Because that's what all the streamers have is all these cool skins and shit because they have the money, and that's how these games make their money, and that's how they're gonna get made if they're free, right? They gotta get something out of it.
Of course. That's why I say charge.
Charge.
What happened to, you know, I used to think games were $60. No, they're not. They're 100 plus. They're hundreds and hundreds.
I mean, but that's only if you want the extra shit, though. You really don't need it. at the end of the day.
And the download packs, and the season pass, and the battle pass.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, all that shit's aesthetic, so you don't need it. You can play the game just like everybody else without having it.
But
Hey, by the way,
you get the extra maps. You know, you get
Not anymore.
not anymore.
No.
Yeah, by the way, don't be ninja watchers. Like the damn video.
They
Like and subscribe
know
if you haven't done it already.
Call of Duty. Well, all games really are trying to get away from like that, like pay for content, like extra content that nobody else has access to, because it's very like everybody wants to be fair nowadays.
Ooh,
That's what
Eddie
society's
is on
about.
the grinding app. I didn't know
Grindr.
there was a the grinder.
Grinding?
You
know-
grinder
Jorge, you're so stupid. You didn't even say the app right.
is grinder for him.
It's Grinder, homie.
Yeah,
And
he
no, I'm not.
He
on
knows
that.
exactly what the name is. Believe me.
But so this is what I'm talking about. This is why I don't play video games.
But you play video games like 4 hours here the other day.
Yeah, because I come here, play the video game for 4 hours one time, and that's been what, a month now?
Yeah, but still, look, man, this is the way I look at it.
What are you playing now, by the way?
Call of Duty, Apex, Tarkov, shooters, man. I like shooters.
Yeah,
I'm getting a little sick of it, but this
Talking
is what I
about
like, man. I can't. I try playing other shit and I can't get into it.
Yeah, shooters is where it's at.
Talking about the video games,
Come play
actually
some League of
those,
Legends.
you can learn a whole lot of...
First
I might
person
have to.
shooters. First person shooters.
No, I got into one the other day. Sorry, Shay. I got into one the other day called Rogue Company. That's free. You should look at it. It's third person. Badass, bro.
Okay.
Badass. First third person shooter I like. Call of Duty has third person now. Fucking disgusting.
Really?
It's so nasty. You were saying?
So
Well-
I'm saying in a video games like that, you can definitely learn like leadership skills. Like you get a group together and then you start managing. You should start managing.
Look at this sexy mama over here. Look at this. Órale. Chale. Now we're cooking with grease.
You were saying, Jay?
No, I was saying that you can learn leadership skills. Like you got a group going.
Look, man,
you
my
can
thing
manage a lot of stuff on
My
there.
thing with the
Actually,
video games
communication and
is
leadership.
I get to choose how I use my free fucking time. You want to go and watch makeup videos as a girl. You want to go watch car videos as a guy. It's the same shit. Or you want to go sit at a bar or sit in your backyard with your homies. That's what I do when I play video games. I go and I get on Discord and I play. Like 10 of us in there today just talking, hanging out. And we're maybe not even all we're not even playing the same fucking game. 2 games here, 2 people on this game, 3 people on this game, 4 people on this game. We're not even playing the same game. We're just all really hanging out. That's what it's really about.
I have to go.
I don't even know what that is.
You're being
you just
taken
put on
away
there.
from us.
I have a curfew.
Bob's gonna be mad. The one who commented
Hey.
that you were awesome.
Yeah, sorry, Bob.
Hey, what did he
Hoy
comment there?
me toca.
Hey,
Me toca. Hoy me toca.
What did he comment there? Bob the Builder?
Jay was playing hentai for
Hentai Heroes 2 for 4
Oh,
hours, I bet.
careful with those.
What is that?
Oh, you know what hentai is?
Yes.
It's anime porn.
Oh,
You were playing
Okay.
Hentai Heroes 2 for 4 hours apparently.
Yeah.
so there's a
Yeah, it was on my computer.
there's a game like that Bob knows about.
He just talked about it in Hentai Heroes 2. He was
All right,
giving you
I
a
gotta
suggestion.
go. Emily can sit here. Good night, everybody.
Come have a seat, babe.
I'll finish
Yeah, so
watching,
we're actually bringing
and
Ozzy
commenting
back.
on my phone.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna bring Ozzy back probably next week, and it's gonna be just probably an episode
Whenever
of
he wants.
myself and Ozzy and
us.
Eddie.
Just like
Yeah,
us
we're
right
just
now.
gonna-
man.
Yeah. Let's
We're
do it.
gonna talk about who is Ozzy, and you guys get to know him a little more, where he is.
You know,
and
'cause
what
we
he
gotta do
does.
it. But we gotta do it again because, like I said, we lost the
Chale.
footage. We lost the footage.
Yeah, so Ozzy's coming back, guys. So no
Appreciate
worries.
it,
Whoever
Ozzy.
wanted to
Thank
see
you for
Ozzy.
coming on.
I'll be a regular. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Love this
We
shit.
appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
But yes,
Video games,
Oh,
man.
Eddie beat Hentai Heroes 1 on record time.
You guys can go check my whole computer. You'll never find nothing. I delete all my history.
he said I delete all my history.
You won't catch me lacking.
Let me open my
Oh, you looking at
Hey,
Steam?
did you hear that game called Callisto Protocol? Everybody was talking about.
No, I have not.
No. buddy of mine was saying that they sold a shit ton. Or, sorry, that they sold shit. Like, it was really bad. They barely broke even. It was supposed to be a really big game.
What do you have on the?
Alex talked to me about it. I think it was Alex.
What do you got on the?
Some other stuff I have was I wanted to bring up some stuff about this thing Rodolfo told me about was this bad habit bracelet, which I actually looked into. Fuck, what was the name of it again? Let me see. I have it here. Pavlok, right?
Oh, Pavlov.
Pavlok.
Oh, Pavlok.
So it's a bracelet. It looks like a little watch, kind of like that thing you wear that tracks your whatever, right? And it looks just like that. And it shocks the shit, or not only shocks you, it vibrates, it beeps, whatever. But it'll also
When you
shock
shake your hand too much, it shocks
I guess, right? Whatever bad habit you have, it'll shock you, or beep, or vibrate, or whatever you can set it to.
Take the back. Didn't work.
Babe, we need you back.
So yeah, that's actually pretty funny. They named it Pavloshok.
Pavlok.
Pavlok.
Just one word. Pavlok.
And I think that Pavlok comes probably from the Pavlov. They named it after the Pavlov.
They
named it after the
167 million to make, but currently only 2 million sales. Oh, that was the game, right? Callisto Protocol, right? Yeah, you were talking about
So
that.
that Pavlok is.
Thank you, Alex.
They probably named it after Pavlov. Pavlov was the dude that first did the experiments with did the experiments with the dogs and stuff like that, where it was just like that
Yeah, I know what you're talking
reward
about.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I learned about him in psychology. You're talking about the is it the drooling thing?
Yeah, the drooling and stuff like that. He was the one that he could recognize that dogs would start drooling way before, and you could train
Yeah.
them by the treat. So that's what they
Or
probably named it
He would
after.
literally ring a bell, and he trained them because of course when a dog sees food it starts to salivate, right? And he would ring a bell, show food, ring a bell, show food, and he got it to the point where he could ring a bell and he didn't have to show no food, and the dogs were salivating because you link the two things together. So it's just about how, as a child, you're going to learn that when something is red, it's hot or spicy, stuff like that. You try things out and coordinate the two things together. That's all it's really like playing towards or taking advantage of in your brain, is that your brain automatically coordinates these two things together and, will link them unconsciously without you knowing.
Yeah, that's like how you can tell a dog like any random word and then give them a treat, and like they'll think now that word means a treat.
Yes.
Like for example,
Or
when
you
I
tell
tell
him
my
outside.
dog you want a cookie, he thinks it's a treat. But like that's just because every time I would tell him cookie, and I would give him a treat. So it's kind of the same thing.
It's just how if I go grab that leash right now,
She'll
Nala
freak out.
will start doing spins and backflips.
So how does this bracelet work?
So the bracelet, apparently, they've got it programmed to notice certain movements, which is fucking crazy if you really
So it's
think.
got a gyro in it too. Okay.
It has to. It's got to have a gyro. They have to have some kind of AI implicated to be able to learn the movements based on a per basis. Or maybe they have guys studying you. Maybe they have like a week basis where they watch you. And then like that you maybe input what I'm about to eat, and they can like focus that. And apparently it's helped people lose up to 50 pounds, help people stop smoking.
I'm
What is
assuming
it?
if,
Help
like,
people
biting
wake
your
up.
nails.
I should get one for Rodolfo. Rodolfo, you're watching. I want to get one for his ass, so his ass can fucking wake up. Like apparently helps with those kind of habits.
Yeah.
It's just
think
like a
it's
shot collar for a
crazy.
dog, man. But for a
It's
human.
crazy though, cause like let's say if they start doing it for biting your nails, like I feel like
Mami,
there's so many
daré
motions
una
that you
agua.
do.
Una agua.
I feel like there's so many motions that you do that will possibly be the same like hand movement as biting your nails. So like, how do they know? Like, how does the bracelet know specifically like that is what you're doing?
That's what I was asking. Like, how does this thing work? Like, I bet they just kind of programming this thing, but then okay, well if they're programming, then you can unprogram it. So how does this work?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, obviously,
You clearly have to be doing this willingly. It's more of like, it's kind of like how you remember they used to do the rubber band thing. You heard of
Yeah.
that? You know, oh, I feel like smoking. Let me fucking. It's kind of the same tactic. You really have to be able to do this voluntarily. It's kind of just like a stop. Like remember to stop.
I don't understand how that works.
Which would
though.
be
like,
very
even
hard.
The rubber band thing.
But the rubber band is hard because you have to do it voluntarily. This Pavlov thing is supposed to be able to do it without you having to click anything. It's supposed to learn your movement in the sense. Is that Nala or Zeus?
That's Nala.
Oh.
so I don't know. I don't know. If
It's
they-
weird, man. But yeah, you clearly have to do it voluntarily.
I think I'm skeptical about this one for right now. Until because they said the same thing about that lumen, you know, and now that all of this shit, you know, they're advertising. They say, oh, you can do this, you can do that, but then it has to meet certain conditions, certain things. It's like you get a car, oh, 0 to 60 is X, and then quarter mile is this. But then you get in a car and you try to drive a quarter mile down and you're like by 2 seconds off, you know. Just one of those things. I think is just like they did it at perfect conditions just to get their results, and then they're advertising, oh, this could be done. But then if you have that much discipline to get everything done, why in the hell do you need a bracelet? You know, so
I do think it could be good for the sleeping thing.
maybe.
Maybe
Like, if
another
you're
way to
snoozing
just
your
get
alarm is shot
if
too.
you're snoozing your alarm too much, man, it goes, hey, gives you a little pinch on your wrist and tells you get the fuck
How
up.
much does it cost?
The cheapest one was like $180, man.
That's a very, very expensive alarm clock.
From 2020.
Damn.
That's
I
the
need one of
updated
them, though.
2020 version. If you want the newest one, it's $300.
So $300 for an alarm clock to zap you so you can wake
Well,
up.
I mean, it's not only
Hey, bro,
an alarm
I think
clock.
Nala's electric collar only costs like $50. You can put that on if you want. I'm sure you can set it up on a timer.
Put it around your neck. Zap. Time to wake up.
Yo, I saw this thing. These guys were doing a challenge talking about, oh, how far can you run with the electric collar on? Oh man, these guys would make it 2 steps and they just hit the floor and start freaking out, trying to rip the collar off and shit.
Oh, you know what? I have one of those, like, you know, those the muscle like the electric shockers that help if you have like injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have one too.
We can use that one day for a show, like have somebody try to drink water and do stuff like
The
that. That would be
tetanus,
fun as
not
hell.
tetanus, the TENS unit is what you're talking about, right?
I like this. Okay, this is funny. So I have a buddy. He lives in Tennessee, out in bumfuck Egypt in Tennessee. Like to get to his house, I think I explained it. You get to his house, like you basically have to get lost in the woods to get to his house,
That's
right?
awesome.
And
That is pretty awesome, though.
and he just bought 100 ducks, 70 chickens, like 3 pigs. There, he's not 4. It was like 3, I think, or maybe 4. It might be wrong. He does things in excess, like we're talking about today. He does things in excess.
I'm assuming this is
What do you think
green.
about this? This is green, yeah. But Calvin's the one pointing him out. He bought a bunch of fucking animals. He lives on a farm in the bumfuck, but like it's just him.
So he's one of those.
That's
egg,
a lot
think.
of fucking work, is what I think.
Yeah.
So he's one
I
of those
had
egg
one
dealers now?
chicken.
That's-
Yeah, he purposely bought like these kinds of chickens and ducks that are gonna be for hatching eggs. And I mean, I kind of agree with him. He was talking about how when it becomes too much work, he's just gonna start fucking murdering ducks and chickens, and
Or he
have
can always have somebody
duck
come and
chicken
do
meat,
it for him.
which I kind of understand. I my dad kind of did the same thing when he had the thing in Ocala. There was a bunch of chickens we had in Ocala and a bunch of goats and all that. And what happened before we sold it? And didn't we just give them away? We ate them fuckers.
what were you saying?
I was saying, like, yeah, it's smart because you can sell the eggs or you can
Eggs
eat
are
it
expensive now.
yourself, whatever. But
I don't buy
it's
eggs,
just
but they were
a
telling
lot
me.
of work.
They were telling me eggs are expensive now.
Yeah,
so.
they are. But it's just a lot of work. Like, I had one chicken at one point, and my dad would have to, like, constantly be cleaning it and feeding it and this and that. Imagine having 70 chickens plus all the other animals that he just named. That's a lot of fucking work.
You know how good duck meat is, though? That shit good.
But worth all the work
Duck
that
is
he's
good.
doing?
I'm not. The only one time I've ever had
Duck? It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
one-
I
don't know
had
if
the
I've
duck
tried it.
risotto when we went out with your uncle. That shit was good, man.
Yeah, no, that one was good. But then I've actually, what was that? I think it was in New Jersey or somewhere. I went to an Asian restaurant that was recommended, and they said get the duck. It's really good. That's the only time that I had duck, and it was actually really, really good. But all the other times I've ever tasted duck, bro, that thing is nasty, nasty.
I guess you
I
maybe
don't know
just
if
have to
I've
know
ever
how to
tried
make
it.
it, man. It's one of those things, man. You gotta
Yeah.
know how to make it. Like oxtail. You know how to make it. It's not good.
Well, I mean, I've had oxtail. Like the way your mom makes it is delicious.
Yeah.
Because the reason I like it the way she makes it is because she cuts all that excess fat off of it.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
So like
But then
Arthur
I've-
said in Puerto Rico, $21 for 30 eggs. I'm assuming is what it is.
$21. Yeah, they use American currency there, so $21 for 30 eggs. Goddamn.
Yeah, but then, so what were we talking about? I lost the thought now.
This about my friend got a bunch of fucking animals, man.
The duck. You were eating duck.
You were eating duck.
Yeah.
The
what's next?
oxtail.
Oh, yeah, oxtail. There we
Oxtail.
go. But I had some oxtail from the south side that's supposed to be really good. And I got the tail that the flavor was good, but they just had all that fat on the tail. And
Oxtail's very.
Bro, I couldn't do it, man. I was
So
sick.
the thing about an oxtail is that the fat on it almost resemblance. How much? Hour 30. Okay, cool. It kind of resembles like membrane, kind of like when it gets, even when it gets hot and it gets soft, it still stays kind of like slimy, and it's just not very good.
No, man, it was gross. Like the flavor, as I said, flavor was there, but it's just not the same.
They didn't
so,
trim it enough, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it
gotta
is
know how to
what it
do
is.
that, and really cook it well in the pressure cooker and all that. Get it nice and tender.
The oxtail, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That's the only way to eat it. Any kind of
Yeah.
those tougher cuts of meat.
Yep.
I don't see any other way to
No.
go about it. But yeah, what you got next,
Cultural appropriation.
bruh? Now I'm gonna shove that up there.
No, I mean, like, for example, like
Somebody came out here was pretending to be Armenian and having fun. I'd be like, yo, bro, pull a chair, sit down, let's have a conversation, let's talk, enjoy this. Man, cultural appropriation is a white person's thing. Period. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I don't think
in
it's
my life.
necessarily a white person thing. I think it's an American thing.
You know what? You're probably 100% right. It is
Because
definitely.
even in some of the I'm just gonna go based on my content consumption, which I think is maybe one sided or another, whatever. But I saw a video multiple times about this guy. He goes and he dresses like a Mexican with a mariachi attire on, and he goes into downtown places and he acts white and black Americans, mostly about 20 to 25 years of age, and they tell him you shouldn't be wearing that. You don't know, you're not educated, you are not Mexican, you shouldn't be wearing that. That's offensive. Then he goes to a
Market. I
like
think it was in a
a
market.
market or something like that. Or he actually went. It looked like a party, like an actual like Mexican party. He went to, or Hispanic Latino party, and was asked them, "What do you think?" And they're all like, "You look fucking amazing. You look great." They really didn't care. They're like, "You're cool. That's fine. Whatever." They don't care. In most places around the world, you are what you are, and that's it. For example, when I told a lot of people how we call my grandpa Negrito, because that just means
Bro, I know your grandpa for the past 4 or 5 years. I did not know his actual name until about like 6 months ago.
I didn't either until like I was older. I didn't know.
Bro, nobody, like,
And I asked him the other day. I literally asked him the other day, "When's the last time somebody called you Jose, which is his government
Yeah.
name?" And he goes, "Besides somebody in the government, like when I go to do government shit, like my license or whatever,
Or doctors.
or a
probably.
doctor or whatever, somebody that doesn't know me, because my doctor, which is Dr. Santos, knows me, so he just calls him Negrito." And since he said he was like in school, like elementary school, was when the last time they used to call him Jose.
yeah.
And they just called him Negrito because what is he? The little black man. That's just what he is. That translated to his nickname.
And
It has zero offense. It is actually said now with, I don't know how to say in English, but we say in Spanish, cariño, which is like with
love. Yeah,
with
like,
love in
yeah,
a
that's
sense.
what I was about to say. Like, I think Hispanics, well, not, I don't know if it's necessarily just Hispanics, but I feel like Hispanics are really big on like giving this random nickname, and it's like with love behind it, even though if technically it could be like a hurtful name. Like I know a lot of people, like for example, your mom calls your grandma mi gorda, and like a lot of people might think that's offensive, but that for her is like with so much love calling her that. Or like how my family calls Shayla La Negra, like that's just a nickname, and it's not like in a hurtful way. That's just, it is what it is. I don't know how to like, you know. And
No,
I
they
feel
do-
like it's mainly Hispanics who do that.
It's not mainly Hispanics. I'm telling you, Armenians have the same fucking thing. Lithuanians have the same.
That's what
fucking
I was
thing.
saying.
Or
I don't
maybe
think
it's
it's
Every
Hispanic.
single culture,
It's around
except
the
for
world. Americans.
United States, except for the Western world,
Yeah.
except for the Western world is the only one. Whew, that's offensive, and it's not even the person that should be offended. It's somebody random from the side that's
Exactly.
complaining about shit they have no idea about.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think it also just depends on like the person, because I remember one time my dad in front of somebody, like a family friend or whatever, called Shayla that. He was like, Negra, hand me that, or whatever, something random. And she was like, why are you calling her that? Like, that's so wrong. And my dad was like, that is my Negra. If you have a problem with it, mind your
Door is
business.
right
like,
there, yeah.
Yeah, that's your.
Who was it?
I don't remember who it was. It was I'm not sure. I just know it was a girl.
At your house?
Yeah, it's like people
Yeah,
get
they said
offended
something to
for
my dad
you.
about it.
People get offended for you, and then now you're like in this limbo of like, should I like agree, disagree? Like they're actually putting you in a shit situation where you're like, why are you getting me in the middle of this? Like you see me not complaining,
Like-
and I'm not getting pissed about it. So
like
what's your
how-
problem?
Then like there's like across the board, like how what I said last podcast in England, that word just means cigarette.
Yeah, it does.
Now, is it a hurtful word here? Yes. Should I not have said it? Yeah, I shouldn't have said it. Whatever. But like we're talking about the topic here, cultural appropriation. I think it's really crazy that as humans we have made this thing about how we are gonna be offended about what people say.
Well,
It's
yeah, because
really
it's
harder
all
to
about
put it than
attention,
that,
right?
but
everybody's
it's
an
just that.
individual. They have, I mean, you can say whatever you want. I don't care how you live your life. Don't shove it down my throat. That's the bottom line. Like, I don't care what your beliefs are. I don't care what you do. Go out there, share your opinion, and deal with it on your own. It is what it is, bro. Like, I'm an individual. I'm special. No, you're not. You're just like everyone else. Majority of us, you were special. You be famous. You're not. It's just, it is what it is. You're not special. No one is special. Period.
no.
You could be smarter, you could be dumber, you could be bigger, could be fatter. It is what it is. And a lot of people get offended because
It's crazy
now
though.
they're not the center of the attention.
try to-
right? So
I'm trying to think here. Why is it that why is it that the Western world is like that? And I can't find a reason why. It's like, okay, well, maybe, America's experienced this really bad thing of what we had slavery, the Civil War, and all
I
this
mean,
stuff.
bro, come
but
on,
it's kind of hard to pin it on that when the rest of the world kind of went through the same thing.
well, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about slavery. I mean, there are 11,000 slaves that were brought to the Caribbean, to currently which are Hispanic countries in Caribbean, and there are, I think, 8 or 9,000 that were brought to North America, right? So there are a lot more that were brought in Caribbean than in North America. You don't see these issues in Caribbean, but you see them in United States. I think it's just a way of control and segregation, and that's what it is. That's what it is, because
It's a comment.
bottom line,
Angel grew up fatherless.
mm.
We love messing with him about it.
So all I'm trying to say is just you get the attention, right? And it's one way to push an agenda, because it's super easy to say, oh well, you're racist, that's why you say that. Now you're labeled as racist. Now that it's a just way of to knock down what you're saying. But are there racists out there? Yes, 100%. But that's not majority of population. As a matter of fact, when you get two billionaires, one is, let's say, black, the other one is white. What do you think they're talking about when they're in a room? Color? I think they're talking about money more than anything.
I mean, believe it or not, man, even people at that high of a stature, especially when there's a lot of people that are in those positions, come from families that already had money, and they, believe it or not, are like that. A lot of those people, or not say a lot, but
But what I'm saying
more
is,
than you'd think.
but what I'm saying is when there's a black billionaire and a white billionaire, they're in a room. Do you think they're really talking about race and color, or they're talking about how to make more money?
No, they'll never be talking about race and color,
Obviously,
because
'cause-
one white man to one black man, the one white man has never gonna have the balls to go, "I'm better than you" to his face.
Well, there, I'll be.
More
I'll
than
be
not,
I'll be
more than not, they're not gonna do that, man.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more of a they realize that color is something that's for majority of average people, right? Like something to talk about. I think in their case, in that realm, they're already talking about money because they understand talking about color is going to be a waste of time for them, and they much rather decide what they're gonna do.
It's crazy though. It really it really when I was in school is really when I noticed that it the difference. You know, I can say this and I can say that when I'm around these people. When I'm around these people, it was weird. You have to have filters in certain crowds, even though you don't want to. It's like I want to be this person all the time. I want to be me all the time, but you can't.
It's not being you or not being you. So here's the thing with that.
And then it's hard to grow up and say and say this to yourself, I'm a product of my environment, and some of those things weren't good. And I need to change these things.
Yeah, change them. But this is the thing. We as humans are already competitive.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about habits. For example, vocabulary. There's things like that, or like
well, yeah, they're gonna be difficult to change, but you will.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want to. But
exactly. No, I know, but I'm saying like or just habits in general of like what you choose to do on your daily. You know, what can be viewed as okay in some societies and it's not, but because you're a product of that environment, you think it's okay, but it's not.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things that
you think it when you grow up in the projects, like I'm gonna be a drug dealer, man. That's what it's okay to be here.
No, I understand,
Yeah, I
but
think
It's
it all depends
this
on
me
where
being
you
the
grow up.
extreme, right? I'm giving the extreme example,
but in those cases, if you become a drug dealer, you can measure the amount of harm that you're causing by being a drug dealer. The issue here is, you know, when you let's say something and somebody gets offended by it, how do you measure that? Do you just say, well, I am offended? Okay, you're offended. But are you offended because you need to be offended right now because it's the right thing to say? Or are you truly offended? Or are you trying to push an agenda? There's that difference. When somebody buys drugs and you sell drugs and somebody's getting hurt by consuming drugs and they're breaking their families and things like that, you can see you're physically and mentally and morally hurting someone by doing that. But by you saying, let's say, one thing or another thing and offending someone, well, I'm offended. I feel bad. Like, this is bullying. Okay, great. But like, why is your skin so thin? You know, that's the.
But sometimes what those people are saying that is offending people can sometimes praise violence, like how Trump did. Praise, man. You can't tell me. I had this conversation with my father, and I agree with him. You can't tell me that during Trump being in office, it didn't seem that it was a more apparent, like some Americans felt like it was more okay to be racist, okay to say what they wanted to say about these race,
I
questions.
think so. We can take two examples. One was when they stormed the Capitol, right, and then the other example, which was for George Floyd when they killed him, right, and then there were marches, right. So
your flashlight is on, Alex said.
No, it's not.
Alex
I think
is
it's
smoking.
the glare of his.
Alex, you hit too much of your.
I think it's the glare of his case.
Yeah. So I think what happened there was there were both cases of some people that were protesting, and there were cases of some people that were looting. So that happened on both sides of the stick. So the way I look at it is, you get a piece of steak. One is on this side, and the other one is it's the same exact people, right? The agenda is different, but they're the same exact radicals, right? So I think that's what happened. So you can't say that necessarily with Trump, people were more pro-white or whatever. Um,
With Trump, what I'm saying is that he made America think it was okay to be racist.
I don't think he did, though. I don't think he did.
He made okay. Let me try and say this differently. He made the racist Americans think it was okay to like speak out and publicly be this way.
Well, I don't think he did, right? So
Okay.
there's a lot of times. So for example, let's say, I am unhappy with this certain race, and I go out there and say this XYZ race man, like specifically that person, did this, and this, and I'm not happy with that. For example, I would probably not be able to go do that because I would get canceled immediately. However, they are acting that way. But if that person came out and said to me that he's acting this way, this white person is acting this way, it would have been very okay. So I think what people said, like, listen, if you want equality, we want to be equal on a playing field, and say what we're unhappy about, just like you were saying what you were unhappy about. Now, did it make some racists that are naturally racist more attracted to that? Yes. Did he make some closet racists come out and say those things? Yes. But it didn't mean that that majority of people were racist to begin with. It amplified the ones that were already racist.
That's what I mean.
That came out. The ones that were already racist, whether Trump was there or not, they came up and started saying things, right?
That's what my last comment said. The people who were already racist, I feel like Trump made it feel like for them to go, hey, we can speak out more. We can be more. We can have more of a voice. They were already racist.
But that, just like anything else, if you start talking about,
But my problem is he gave them a voice.
it, just like the incel community or the red pill community, right? A lot of these podcasts you have and shows you have attract the incels and red pill community, the women haters, right? It naturally attracts them, right? It doesn't mean that these communities are proponents of it. It just attracts these people, like the bad apples, proverbial bad apples. They give it a bad name. It doesn't mean that majority of the society is like that. All I'm saying is there's a very small proportion of those people on all spectrums, and they all are very, very vocal. And when they're very vocal, because it is the hot topic, it is the hot button, everyone televises that. So, with the George Floyd, where they killed the man. Obviously, they killed him. What these protests called for, 100%. You shouldn't kill anyone, whether white, black, or whatever, however it is. You shouldn't do it. But they did. Now, to go out there and say, well, one is getting more violence than the other one, this and that, is very difficult to gauge, right? Because it's situational. Right, so I don't think Trump really made the majority of society. He just gave a very small minority decided that it's okay for them to be this way. Where before they were just kind of keeping it on the down low. They were doing their little back alley talks between each other, their secret handshakes and stuff like that. Now they're just coming out and saying, open.
That's like what Eddie was saying, that it's not like he made everybody like racist and start saying that, but he's saying like the people who already were, he made them feel like it was okay to like speak their opinion and like
but only
say
for those
these
small
things.
Yeah, but only for the small
but
minority of people.
We have to look at what racism is. What is racism? Most of the time, lack of education. Right? If you look at when it dials down to it,
racism
lack of education.
I don't know if it's lack of education. I think there's the competition, right? Because that other person is different, so you're naturally trying to put him down.
But if
so
you can
grouping
educate
everybody into one,
but if you can properly
group.
educate a person to understand that because that person is like that has nothing to do with you
Correct.
differences, that's it.
Correct.
If you can properly educate somebody.
Because just like if you're tall and somebody's short, and they can just kind of tell you, okay, well, hey, stretch, what's up? To kind of undermine that they're taller, right? Or if you're short, hey, midget, what's up? You know what I mean? To undermine you. So it's I
Yeah.
think it just has to do with competition between humans.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Absolutely. It's just like because you want to hate.
You just that's what it is.
Literally, I want to hate, so I'm gonna point something out that's different.
Because individually, you want to be the best.
Yes.
It is what it is. You're selfish, right?
I get what
There's
you're
a
saying.
very little amount of things in this world that you would say, you know what, I'm willing to give up my life for that or my reputation for this one little thing, right? But in general, you want to show that you're better than everyone else. That's why we do things that we do on a daily basis. That's why we buy fast cars. That's why we buy clothes. That's why we buy houses and things like that to show somebody else that you're doing better. There's a small minority that are content with what they're doing, but majority of people, that's what they do. They're trying to keep up with Joneses. And one way to do it is by color. One way to do it is by height, by size that you have. Now, to take something and glorify it, that's bad for you.
I agree with the whole thing. Like Gary Vee talks about this a lot. When you pay a lot of attention to praise, it also causes you to pay a lot of attention to, when someone puts you down. So it's kind of like, have you seen that movie Whiplash
Yeah.
with J.K. is it right? J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller, with
know
the drummer movie. You know what I'm talking about? Whiplash? No, you haven't seen that?
No.
Anyways, famous line in that movie is that J.K. Simmons says is he says, I think the worst two words in the human language are good job.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of not saying a good job because I look at the thing, okay, well, did you sign on a dotted line? You did? Great. That's your job to do.
No, his thing is more of like, not that.
Like,
it's more
stop
of like,
telling people, oh my God, you did such a good job.
because
Yeah, the participation trophies? Is that what you're talking
no.
about?
You telling somebody they did a good job can sometimes help them undermine themselves and say, okay, well, I don't need to do it anymore. I can stop working.
Yeah, participation trophies.
Yeah, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Okay, but like his thing is like, if I pay attention a lot to good job, it also is gonna cause me to pay attention. Yeah, that movie is one of my favorite movies, top 5 for sure. Whiplash. If you haven't fucking seen that, you need to watch it.
Okay, that's fine.
It's just a really good motivational movie.
Another good movie you can watch is called Vice.
Yeah, good movie.
That's a good movie. But what I'm trying to say is participation trophies, 100% agree with you. My thing is this. You coming in for a job, you sign on a dotted line, that is your job. I don't care how difficult it is. I don't care what it is. You signed and you said you're going to do your job at 100%.
Well,
Then do your job at 100%.
what I'm saying is
You
like,
shouldn't get a good job for doing a job.
no. What I'm saying is like, if you're paying attention to a lot of praise, this will also help you cause to help you pay a lot of attention to down. So like when someone hates on you, the more you ignore praise, it also will help you more ignore opinions in general. What Gary Vee gets at is that don't pay a lot of attention to good job because you're going to start paying a lot of attention to bad job as well when people start saying that shit. And what you should do is seclude yourself from opinions completely, entirely. That will help your mental, which I agree with.
Yeah, well, see, another thing, like, I don't agree this, like, mental thing and stuff like that, bro. Like, you're gonna go through rough patches. You're human.
Yeah.
You just need to understand this is not going to last.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, man.
Go to the
You
gym,
believe it?
work out, do everything you're supposed to do.
Yeah, man, but
respect people around you.
You have to have motivation.
That's it. Respect people around you and do the best you can do. Be a good human being. That's all you have to do. Period. You like that whole thing of
Man,
like,
but that's easier said than done, and it's all driven by your brain. And if you're not on a good mental, you're not gonna do shit correctly, man. You're gonna make bad decisions.
yeah, but whose fault is it? It's
Yours.
fault.
Yeah, absolutely. But and it's not like you're blaming it. Oh, because I have a bad brain. I have like chemical,
Well, there's some people
bad
that do
chemical
have that.
imbalance.
Again, a very
Yes,
small percentage.
you do have that sometimes. The majority, you're just fucking lazy,
Yes, 100%.
right?
Yes.
Okay, but you being lazy and then also you having these bad thoughts is not going to help.
Well, no, they're not gonna help. That's why.
To help, it's just a help, man.
That's why That's why.
At the end of the day, it's all action. We know that, but you gotta have the motivation. Does Jay go to the gym? Jay
He doesn't
goes.
go to the gym.
He
does
has
jujitsu.
BJJ. He works out. Yes.
No,
Wait,
I
you
don't.
like his
So
physique.
technically, you go to the gym. But
You work out. You exercise.
Yeah, but I don't lift weights or anything.
No, you
like
don't
that.
lift
But
weights. So
that's
you
still
work out.
considered
You're still working
going to
out.
the gym, I guess.
Yeah, you're still exercising.
He said that is
Yeah.
what therapy is for.
That's what therapy is for. Yeah.
Therapy is just a good way of negotiation. That's what therapy is. Negotiating.
What do you mean?
That's what it is. Negotiating.
Nah.
What about for people who have like anxiety?
So let
or
me tell you
depression?
something. I took psychology, and I believe that if you have something you're going through, it's nice to have an educated perspective. So by going through a therapist, you can get that educated perspective. Now, does that mean you have a chemical imbalance in a sense? Yes, but not all, but psychiatry, psychology has proven that chemical imbalance can be helped by therapy or also, medically, taking pills or whatever it may be. But it can also be helped by therapy. 100%. There's no way you're going to tell me otherwise. If therapy wasn't
negotiation.
If therapy wasn't, so you don't think therapy actually helps chemical imbalance, is what you're trying to tell me?
Therapy has chemical imbalance
Therapy doesn't help chemical
without
imbalance?
medication.
Without medication, yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's just negotiation
No,
at that
man,
point.
you're wrong.
I think it's just
I'm
negotiation.
gonna, you think what you think is one thing, but what the facts is another, bro. Like, absolutely, there's certain conditions that therapy on its own can help chemical imbalance without having to take some kind of pill. There's no
No,
way.
I'm not saying people don't have a bad time. They do. The people can be in a rut and go through a hard time. But then all you have to do, I don't know who Megan Hall is, but I can look it up. So, but you having a good group of friends that got your back no matter what. You go out there, you talk to them, and they'll tell you exactly what's going on. Like, listen, you're being lazy, change your shirt, take a shower, go to the gym, work out, do something productive in your life, whether you're a girl or a guy. You're going to start feeling better. Start winning small little battles one day at a time. I'm not saying that depression doesn't exist. It does. I'm not saying about that. All I'm saying is that therapy is negotiation. Like, you see, this is the issue that I'm having. Back in the day when therapy was not a big thing, nobody knew about it. Somehow people did just fine. Now that everybody knows about it, everyone and their mother needs a therapist. Everyone and their mother needs to do this, needs to do that. Everyone and their mother is ADHD. Everyone and their mother is, needs to be on bipolar medicine.
I do believe that with Web 1, the world became more frantic and ready to just have an answer to anything. So, I'm feeling this way. I'm going to research it. Google said I have anxiety. I have anxiety now. I need Xanax. The world is too much of that, man. It's fucked up. It's wrong. You were just sad. Someone died. Something happened. You're sad. It's fine. Get through it. Yeah. Live another day. Yeah. But you do have chemical imbalance in certain people. You do. But I agree. I agree
with you, like, that there is things that you can do yourself to help you, like, get out of it. Like, just getting up, making your bed, taking a shower, putting on clothes that you feel good in, whatever the case may be. Right. And a lot of times for a lot of people that does work. But I also, like, I've seen some people that, like, they even try all those things and they still can't get, like, the negative thoughts and whatever it may be that they're going through out of their head, and they try therapy and it actually works for them. And it's not necessarily that they're being lazy or that anything. It just helps to talk to people. Like, there's some people that just, their big thing is, like, they hold everything in, and then going and talking to somebody actually helps them. And, like, just, I don't know. I feel like it depends on your situation.
I do
think some people
I do believe that these things are also can be self-caused from creating complexes about these things. About, I need to seek help. And because I'm not talking to anybody, it's getting worse. And putting that complex on yourself is going to make things worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But the whole thing to me
it's just about how, like,
every little thing.
You had the family member who had cancer, right? Rest in peace. The family member who had cancer, and then his daughter died as a flight attendant,
Yeah, my uncle.
and then he ended up getting 10 times worse after she passed away because
Yeah,
he
he
was at a
didn't-
down time.
He didn't even know that he had cancer, and when she passed away, he like went into a depression, and it made his cancer like way worse. And like within, I want to say like a year of her passing, he passed.
Your brain, I mean, and that goes to show your brain's
But that's usually like
your brain's current condition can go to affect the rest of your body.
That's
in an older age when the wife dies first. Men usually pass away within 2 years.
I did not know that.
Yeah, men usually pass away from.
That's
Because
also
we men
like the.
we men love unconditionally. That's the thing.
I have another like family friend that it was like I guess you can say a similar situation. He was in the hospital, but you know, they had ransom tests, whatever. But that day he was like doing really good. He was like, I remember they said he was like up singing and dancing and everything when like a few days before that he could barely even walk or talk or anything. And after like that same day they went in and they shared the test results with him and they figured out.
Like your brother said, some people need guidance and they will to help them overcome things, and some people don't. They
No,
can just
I
figure it out.
understand. I think this is I think this issue comes from number one in United States. I think in the Western world, majority of Western world, we have what's called a broken families, where 50% of the marriages end up in a divorce. These are broken families. So obviously, these children are growing up without either a mother or without a father. On top of that, you don't have the community of your let's say uncles, aunts, or good friends that are around you. And on top of that, this is reinforced by social media, where everyone can be a keyboard warrior, hide behind the Facebook, hide behind Instagram, and then this is their life, right? So now when you talk to younger generations, they can't put two words together because they're afraid and shy to talk. They can't communicate. They can't come out and say their opinion because they're so used to typing everything in and being keyboard warriors. This is the problem. I think you don't have the communitarian where you all get together, you have parties, you're going through a hard time. For example, my buddy, he was going through a hard time today. He called me, he's like, listen, bro, I'm not trying to complain, but this is the kind of a day I had. All I did, sat down there, listened what he had to say, and I said, listen, this is what you went through. Your day is over. Tomorrow's another day. He goes, you know what? You're right. He just needed somebody to talk to.
He just needed a
Now,
vent,
does he
yeah.
exactly what he said. He said, it's just a vent. I'm not complaining. It's just a vent. Does he need to go visit a therapist for that? No. He has a good group
But
of
some
friends that he
people-
called. Some people
can't do it.
And I'm not.
And
Some
Some
people
people
can't.
don't
Some people
have
have
the
those
people-
friends, and they like somehow can't bring themselves to tell them.
Correct. Because this is what I'm trying to say. That's why every person needs to have a small group of good friends that no matter what, they're going to be there to help them with things, right?
Yeah.
Because back in the day, how we did it. Now that we're very, like the society is broken up. Everyone is an individual. We have 70 different genders. We have different things that are going on. I'm this, I'm that. I'm special, I'm special, I'm special. Oh my God. They didn't have
First time?
they didn't have the fruits that I usually eat at Publix. Eggs are very expensive. What am I supposed to do now? I can't eat eggs. You know what I mean? Now they're going into depression because they don't have eggs. Like even every little tiny thing becomes this big deal for everyone. And then they go
Yeah.
on social media, gets reinforced by, yeah, life is not this, life is that. Love yourself, do this, do that. Confuse the shit out of somebody. So what do you think is gonna happen? That's why a human connection is super important. Having a good group of friends, or having just a group of friends, they can get together and have a conversation, share things, and talk about it, laugh about it. What's gonna make your skin tough? In my opinion,
Yeah,
that's
but
what it
there's
is.
some people that even though they have like
I don't think
that
skin
good,
tough. I think that's what's gonna lead you to a happy life.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta go through adversity. Life is not easy. You gotta go through adversity. Like the whole idea of ADHD, right? Like how a lot of kids get prescribed ADHD. But if you take evolutionary, we came from monkeys, right? Like back in the day, we looked like monkeys. What did monkeys do? They didn't have schools. You cramp somebody 8 hours in a school, what do you think is gonna happen? 20 minutes, their attention level is gone. Back in the day, you run around the forest and play with twigs and
You know
all
why?
kinds of shit.
You know why classes
Now
are
it's
40?
ADHD.
You know why classes are traditionally 45 minutes long? Because there was a study done that 47 minutes or whatever it is that classes were traditionally. Now we have block classes in high school and middle school and shit. But which is hour and a half, where they believe they can sit through an hour and a half.
No, that's
But
bullshit. 20 minutes
no.
later, your attention level
Look,
goes down.
Look at this. The initial study said something about 47 minutes is the average that a kid can sit
No,
and
20
focus for a straight
I mean,
time.
it depends
And
on
that's why
what-
classes were like 45 minutes, right? When you were in high school, it was 45 minutes, right? 7 classes a day. You had lunch after 5th period, and then you did 2 more classes, go home, right? That's how lunch probably was for you, or high school.
45 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
45 minutes, 10-minute breaks, one long one, 20-minute break, and then back to 45 minutes, 10-minute breaks.
Right. You had your lunch, right?
Yeah, 20 minutes
Yeah.
was for lunch.
So that's how it was, and that was because of a study that was done to say that kids can attention span last this long, when it's really more between 15 to
20 minutes.
25 max.
Yes.
25 max.
Yes.
And now they're making classes hour and a half long.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They give you TikTok 30-second clips. Right?
On purpose.
That you can scroll
They
through,
know.
get your
This is
dopamine
psychology.
shot, and then they want you to go out there, and then they're blaming teachers. The teachers are not good. They can't keep the kids entertained. Teacher is not a freaking clown.
He's given a shit platform.
Yes, he's giving a shit platform. On top of that, the teacher cannot discipline somebody. Say, hey, listen, get off your phone, or I'm taking it away, because the parent's gonna come in and say, how dare you? So the bottom line is,
We live in a simulation. You're right, Arthur.
the bottom line is, I mean, if you ask Neil deGrasse, he will tell you that we do.
You
live
know,
in a
I love
simulation.
that we watched
Yeah,
that.
we
the
watched
other
the whole
day.
thing.
He said you cannot convince Neil deGrasse Tyson that we don't live in a simulation,
Well,
and he's absolutely right. There's too much to tell us that we do.
Yeah, so
And how we could be in a simulation within a simulation, and how we're either the first or the last in the chain. What do you think, Jay? That's just so crazy, like mind-boggling, right? Mind-boggling.
bro, this Alex kid, I don't know where is he coming from. The shit that you say, bro, like it's mind-boggling. Like I bet you were one of those kids in high school that like, but there is this also, teacher. There is this also. You're one of those kids, huh? I can see you going to the therapist, my friend.
I
It's all
told him.
good.
I told him he has to come on and be extra trolly, like even more than last time.
mean,
he hasn't been.
But see, like
doing
you got,
that,
if
but-
you're gonna be a
He
troll,
has. Y'all just haven't been reading it.
no, yeah, he's been trying to troll. I've been following the chat.
Oh, I
But-
haven't been paying too much
But the thing is,
attention.
if you want to be a troll, you have to be good at it. Kind of like what Andrew, Andrew Tate,
Yeah,
Andrew
he says
Tate
you gotta
did.
get up on your troll game,
Andrew
Alex.
Tate did. He was a great troll. Jake Paul and fucking Jake and Logan Paul, they're great trolls. Like they're amazing at this game. Alex is just like you're probably like better than the worst, but like if there was a scale of like 1 to 10 bad, and then 11 to 20 medium, and then 21 to 30 good, you're like a 2 on like the bad side. Like he's not even good at trolling. So like, bro, like
Jorge, no, come
become
on.
better at trolling.
No,
It's
no.
not funny.
We got a flat earther. Is that what you are, Jorge?
Of course, Jorge believes that.
Of course. Jorge says we never landed on the moon. All right, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Quick thing we didn't get to talk about today that maybe we can bring up now, and they can this topic can bubble in the crowds till Thursday.
Debate with him about what?
It's exotic. It's exotic
Debate
diets.
with him about what? So far, what he has typed or chatted makes no fucking sense. Literally makes no sense. He'll come out of a left field. But this also existed. Nobody said it didn't exist. First of all, listen to what you're saying and then respond. That's all I'm saying. Say something intelligent, my friend. I'll be first one to recognize it. So far, I haven't heard anything or seen anything intelligent.
You're just talking shit now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Let's get it off.
fire
All
with fire,
that's
right?
That's the end. That's the end. That's fire with fire. Oh my god.
Wait, what was the topic that you were gonna let bubble?
Exotic diets. So, on one end, like Liver King, and then on the other end, like a vegan. What do y'all think?
Well, I think veganism.
No,
is,
That's for
next
Thursday.
week.
oh, that's
fucker.
Thursday. Okay, yeah.
We gotta
Yeah,
let them
it's been
think
2
about
hours.
it.
We talked
Get
too
some
long.
opinions.
Yeah,
What about veganism?
I agree with Jorge.
All right.
Yeah.
What did Jorge
See y'all
say?
later. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.